Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike, welcome. I am Mullet Mike, bringing you Season 3 of Creepy Gaming. Today we will be covering a very highly requested episode. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Tales Doll Curtain. So without further ado, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming. There are just some things in this world that you cannot explain. Much like the trend of planking, or now the Harlem Shake, Bill O'Reilly meme, or even Kristen Stewart's popularity. The point is, some things are simply unexplainable. One of which has to be the buzz surrounding the story of Tales Doll. For whatever reason, this creepypasta has gained a cult following since its inception years ago. What is it about the story that made it such a hit? In the early 90s, Sega had grown into this amazing powerhouse of a company. So much so that they rivaled Nintendo, which is no easy feat back then. Sonic was just as recognizable as Mario himself. Sega was one of the first to experiment with CD-based gaming. Many will agree Sega was a little ambitious with the Sega CD. But you gotta understand, the mid to late 90s were a weird time for video games. Developers realized that technology was growing at a rapid rate, and that CD-based gaming was the future. CDs could hold more memory, allowing for a 3D world environment and improved audio quality. In a time when 2D platforming games were the standard, 3D games were in their infancy, therefore not perfected. So, a lot of games just flat out suck. In 1997, mascot racing games, such as Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing, was a very popular genre. Sega wanted to cash in on it and develop a Sonic racing game. And it sounded like a great idea. Race with Sonic the Hedgehog, the fastest video game character of the time. Spin moves, crazy courses, my young eyes teared up with hope. This is going to be amazing! Right? Right? Something went terribly, terribly wrong. In the holiday season of 1997, Sonic R was released for the Sega Saturn. I'll say this much. It wasn't what I'd hoped it to be. It was more like this. Fuck! 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 My tears of hope quickly dried up into crusty hate flakes. This game fucking sucks. Had so much potential. How did they fuck this up? Well, I'll make it quick. The controls are garbage, the track design is sloppy, and the music. Oh no, the music. Well, here, listen for yourself. No, I can't. Sunshine, my ball sack. I don't know why this music was selected, but my theory to it is that Sega wanted to show off what CD audio was capable of. So instead of the 16-bit themes, Sega developers decided to use this. Alright, enough, fuck off! Well, if you can believe it, there's something scarier than Sonic R's soundtrack. That would be the inclusion of a secret character known as Tales Doll. Note, this is not Tails, but a lifeless doll believed to be powered by a chaos gem on its head. The Tales Doll was created by Dr. Robotnik, aka Eggman. Tales Doll is comparable to Tails the same way that Metal Sonic is to Sonic. Not many people know this, but Tales Doll made one of his first appearances in the Archie Comics run of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now on to the creepypasta. There's actually quite a few Tails doll creepypasta, but I'll go over the Tails doll curse, which seems to be the one most people are familiar with. I'll read you a summary of the story itself, then I'll give you my thoughts. Alright, cue the music! This is the story of two friends, Gil and Noah. The two went shopping at EB Games for some new Saturn games. As they shopped around, they found a copy of Sonic R. When Gil and Noah went to the counter to pay, the cashier told them that they could have the game for free. Not thinking too much of it other than they got a good deal, the two friends rushed to Noah's house to play. Once they started the game up, weird things began to happen. For example, when the title screen popped up, they didn't see Sonic or Knuckles, only what looked like Tails doll. When they started a race, the song Can You Feel the Sunshine was being played in reverse. Not just that, but they were able to unlock Super Sonic after just the first race. Now, if you're familiar at all with Sonic R, then you know that the game has several locked characters. It takes a series of events to unlock each character, especially Super Sonic, which requires you to obtain each Chaos Emerald. Gil thought this strange, but Noah dismissed it as a hack. Noah started the second race as the newly unlocked Super Sonic. Once he finished the race, the words "Challenger Approaching" appeared on the screen. The screen faded to black and remained black. Suddenly, an image flashed of Sonic being mutilated by what looked like Tails. They then heard a scream, followed by a maniacal laughter. When the race began, Noah and Gil were shocked to see Super Sonic move on his own, without either one of them controlling him. When the race was over, the game said they unlocked Tails doll. Suddenly, the TV began to violently shake. Without thinking, Noah grabbed a nearby hammer and destroyed the TV. The two calmed down after their moment of temporary hysteria. They were upset because they still wanted the game. Even after they came to their senses, Noah still stood by his actions by saying, quote, "It was worth it." The two friends then went upstairs to Noah's bedroom. There they continued to play video games, but decided Sonic Adventure 2 might be a better choice for now. While playing, the doorbell rang. Noah and Gil went to go see who it was, only to find nobody was there. The doorbell continued to ring. Every time they opened the door, there was nobody there to be seen. Noah kept his hand on the doorknob, anticipating another ring. Once it did, Noah immediately opened the door, only to find a bloodied Tails doll. Noah brought in the Tails doll and began to rinse it off. Smart move. He laid the Tails doll on the kitchen counter to dry. The two commenced gaming until Gil had to go to the bathroom. On his way there, he saw something out of the corner of his eye. He approaches it and realizes it was the Tails doll. The two friends wondered how it got upstairs. Really? Are they not wondering how I got on the front fucking doorstep to begin with? Anyways, moving on, back to the story. I could be here all day. For whatever reason, unknown to man, Noah still wanted to play Sonic R. He decided to play a tag game as the Tails doll. Once he completed the race, something crazy happened. The Tails doll in the bedroom came to life. Noah and Gil ran as fast as they could. The two made it downstairs and nearly to the front door when suddenly the Tails doll appeared before them. The possessed doll then attacked Noah, killing him instantly. Gil's adrenaline takes over as he grabs a nearby baseball bat and begins to swing away. The Tails doll moved so quick that Gil couldn't connect. Gil again winded up and aimed for the fences. The Tails doll caught the bat and snapped it like a twig. Gil then ran to Noah's parents' bedroom and noticed Noah's dad's ancient weapon collection. He grabbed one of Noah's dad's swords as he heard the police sirens in the distance. Gil swung the sword at Tails doll with all of his might, only for the Tails doll to catch it and then end Gil's life. Later, when the police arrived, Noah and Gil's bodies were found upstairs, strangely enough. No murder weapons were found. No sword, no baseball bat, no Tails doll. The only thing that could be confiscated as evidence was the Sega Saturn and the strange copy of Sonic R. So that's it. That's one version of the Tails doll curse creepypasta. Another example of other versions include the Tails doll actually coming out of the TV, or a father buying a haunted copy of Sonic R for his son. Let me remind you, this is just one of many Tails doll creepypastas. There's a ton of them out there. So what are my thoughts on the story? It's okay. It's not great. And to be honest, I don't know what all the fuss is about. I don't know what it was about this story to get so ridiculously popular like it did. I mean, there's a ton of plot holes, and I'm sorry, being a writer, I can't help but be a little bit nitpicky. For starters, why would they still want to play some games after what they experienced? Why would Noah bring the bloody Tails doll inside? And did anyone else notice that this house is full of all kinds of hammers, swords, and baseball bats laying around the place? In all fairness, it's still a good read. Overall, it's okay. And that's a good thing. Trust me, I've read far worse creepypasta. Now here's the question I know some of you are asking. Is it real? Okay. Do I really have to answer that? Really? Alright. According to the urban legend, there are several ways to summon Tails doll. The first and probably most well-known version goes as such. To summon Tails doll, you must play Sonic R and get 100% completed. Then play as Tails doll on tag mode, and while playing tag mode, you will see Super Sonic. Be sure to tag him last. The screen will change to a picture of Tails doll. He will be standing on a red checkered floor, and you will hear the song Can You Feel the Sunshine? If done right, you will see a glowing red light, which is supposed to be the gem on his head. This supposedly unlocks the Tails doll curse. Well, after hours and hours upon hours, I've tried it every way possible and still nothing. Now there's another claim to summoning the Tails doll. This one, cliche urban legend just written all over it. Similar to the legend of Bloody Mary or Candyman for all my fellow 90s kids out there, you must go into a dark bathroom. Some versions of the say it has to be after 11 o'clock. And you must play Can You Feel the Sunshine, followed by Living in the City, which is another song from Sonic R soundtrack. And you must play them both in reverse. Wait 5 minutes, and then you are supposed to see a glowing red gem appear in the mirror. Alright, enough bullshit. Let's try this out. I ain't scared. I can't believe I'm doing this. Mullet Mike here, about to attempt the Tails doll curse. If I die doing this, don't tell him it was Tails doll, for God's sakes. Tell him I don't know, I was saving a bunch of starving orphans in a burning orphanage filled with Nazis. I don't know, just don't tell him it was Tails doll. Let's do this shit. Well, no Tails doll. So there you have it. Whether you wanted it or not. Is Tails doll real? Well, I'm afraid it's nothing more than a big, steaming, heaping, nutty brown pile of bullshit. No, it's not real. Is it a good, scary story? Yeah, it is. Even though it's not my favorite, and every story has its flaws, overall, Tails doll has turned into a cult phenomenon. A true viral hit. As I've previously said in my binge round video, it doesn't have to be real in order to be scary. If it is presented as a true story, then it automatically makes it creepier. Even though it's not my favorite, the Tales Doll Curse has a huge place reserved in creepy gaming history. Even after this video, people will continue to debate whether or not Tales Doll is real. And that's fine. That just further proves my point of people want to be scared. It is fun to be scared. And that, my friends, is what creepy gaming is all about. Thank you for joining me on Season 3 of Creepy Gaming. I am Mullet Mike with Stay creepy. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike, welcome. I am Mullet Mike with
Mario time! Hoo-hoo!
bringing you yet another episode of Creepy Gaming. This is the show where we look at all kinds of creepy video game aspects. It could be Easter eggs, creepypastas, it doesn't matter. If it's creepy and it involves a video game, I'll be covering it. Today we will be continuing our season of highly requested episodes with a very, very special episode. Thanks to everybody out there for all the suggestions. Would like to thank these fine folks right here. Appreciate that. Appreciate everything you do for the channel. Keep those suggestions coming. So, without further ado, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming.
Mario. There are few characters more recognizable than Mario himself. Even if you're not a gamer, you at least know of Mario and Luigi. The Mario Brothers made their first appearance in 1983 and were created by Shigeru Miyamoto. Wait for it. All hail Miyamoto. Mario has taken many shapes, sizes, and forms. For the last 30 years, Mario has appeared in over 200 video game titles. That is insane. Just try to wrap your head around that. The game we are going to be discussing today is none other than Super Mario Galaxy 2. Now, unlike a lot of other games at the time, Mario made a seamless jump to 3D gaming in 1996 with the release of Super Mario 64. Just my opinion, but one of the greatest games of all time. Other 3D Mario titles to follow included Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube and Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii. Super Mario Sunshine was a great game in its own right. Don't get me wrong, but many players felt that Super Mario Galaxy was the true successor to Super Mario 64. Galaxy was a beautiful game. The incredible setting, the mystical soundtrack, along with an overall fun gameplay mechanic, Super Mario Galaxy was considered a masterpiece. The game was so popular it spawned a sequel, which is rare for 3D Mario titles. The sequel, aptly named Super Mario Galaxy 2, was released in 2010 to an overwhelming response. Nintendo continued to do things right, just like in the first game, but perfected the overall experience with new additions. Now, if you're not familiar with Shiverburn Galaxy, then you're probably wondering what in the bloody teetotaling hell is so creepy about Super Mario Galaxy 2. Well, before I tell you, remember this. Creepy is subjective. Fear is a matter of opinion. Certain things are scary to some people, not scary to others. Some things in gaming can be eerie, weird, creepy, or just flat out in your face scary. To me, this isn't over-the-top brightening, but more strange, eerie, and I definitely feel like it has its place in creepy gaming history. In the fifth world, there is a stage in Super Mario Galaxy 2 known as the Shiver-Burn Galaxy. Playing through the game casually, you wouldn't notice anything out of the ordinary on this level. Seems like a typical Mario game, typical enemies, typical stage design. Nothing weird about this, right? Well, upon further inspection of this stage, you may notice that the background sky texture is different from other galaxies. Other stages in the game usually have one of two basic background texture patterns. Either the galaxy will have its own atmosphere, giving it a daytime look, or it won't, and it'll have a starry space background. There are a few exceptions though, much like the creepy faces on the ghost levels. Now if you notice, Shiverburn seems to be positioned within some sort of canyon. If you look up to your left from a first-person point of view, you will see these three strange figures standing on top of the canyon. The creepiest part about it is that no matter what section of the level you're on, they are always right there, looking down on you. Hunters stalking their prey. What's weird about it to me is that these strange figures are never mentioned, referenced, or alluded to anywhere in the game. Although some players do claim to see another similar figure in the Grandmaster Galaxy. Who are these guys? What is their purpose? It's so out of place for a family-orientated title like Mario. This, my friends, is just the entrance to the rabbit hole. It only goes deeper from here. According to an article I found by GoNintendo.com, someone by the screen name GurTacos hacked into the game's files. What I found makes this story even stranger. The sky model, which is the level's background texture, was called Beyond Hell Valley Sky. Hell Valley? Again, really out of place for a Mario game. Wait a minute. Is Mario in hell? Not just that, but the figure's texture was entitled Hell Valley Sky Trees. Trees, you say? Interesting. From what I gathered, Hell Valley was a beta level that was never completed. Some even say that Hell Valley is the name of the level in Japan. If someone has played the Japanese version of this game, let me know in the comments if that's true. So what are these strange silhouettes? Some players believe them to be ghosts, which I could see. Others claim them to be gray aliens, which, again, I could see the similarities there. And of course, a few people go with the Slender Man route. Or, in this case, Slender Men. I don't think so. Another interesting theory I found is that some players believe that they may be the giants from Majora's Mask. Somehow that makes them even creepier. Because of the many theories, I thought it best to contact a professional theorist. Someone who has experience in this field. Someone who has covered a couple of creepy games. Someone who has seen the underbelly of the beast. And since this is Super Mario Galaxy, someone from Mars.
Hello all watchers of Creepy Gaming, I am the Gamer from Mars from the channel The Gamer from Mars, and for some reason Mike wanted my opinion on why the trees in Super Mario Galaxy were scary, so here are my opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mullet Mike here with
Mario time! Hoo-hoo!
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you none other than the gamer from Mars. With theories running wild regarding the Hell Valley sky trees, I wanted to hear his thoughts. Maybe he could lead me in the right direction. So, gamer from Mars, if that is indeed your real name, what do we got here? What are these strange figures? Are they ghosts? Are they aliens? Slender Man? What's up?
These sky trees in Super Mario Galaxy 2 are very strange indeed. While it's obvious that most people on the internet will automatically assume that they are Slendermen, I doubt it. First of all, most people on the internet will jump directly to the thought of Slenderman whenever they see anything creepy on the internet,
True.
even if it barely looks like him. To see what I mean, here's a picture of Slenderman. He has a blank, white face and is wearing a black suit. On the other hand, these sky trees are completely black and have eyes. When you look at them objectively, they don't really have that much in common at all. The second reason I doubt this is because Super Mario Galaxy 2 was released in 2010, which is more than a year before Slenderman took off on the internet. While I guess you can say that the development team knew about Slender when it was obscure, I really feel this is unlikely.
Fair enough, you got some good points there. So, what do you think they are?
I personally believe that these sky trees are not really based on anything. They're just an original creation.
Huh, that's funny, I didn't even really think about that. I've got to admit, though, I've hit a roadblock here, and I can't help feel that there's more to this. Do you have any leads, any direction you can point me in here?
This wasn't the last time a strange figure has appeared in a Mario game. In Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS, there is also a mysterious creature. To find it, play through World 4, Level 4. When you make it to the end, don't jump on the flagpole. Instead, look at the top right corner of the screen and you'll see a mysterious figure. Perhaps this is somehow related to the sky trees, or maybe it's a creature all of its own.
Nice. Thank you, Gamer from Mars. There you have it. With this new lead, I continued my research and looked up the game. Super Mario 3D Land was released in most countries in 2011 for the Nintendo 3DS. This handheld Mario title was very much made in the spirit of Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. Sure enough, I looked it up, and at the end of level 4-4, you can see a ghostly figure appear and then disappear. You'll see him in the wooded area behind the flagpole, peeking over the fence at you. I'm sorry, but this is really creepy for a Mario title. If you look at it closely, you'll see that this creature shares the same features from the 3 in Herobrine Galaxy. Tall, slender body, big eyes, mask-like features. I can't help but feel that there's a connection between this guy and the figures from Super Mario Galaxy 2. Much like the Hell Valley sky trees, or so they're called, this figure is never mentioned anywhere in this game either. So what we have here are these mysterious phantoms appearing in not one, but multiple Mario games. They're not pivotal to the plot. They don't really do anything. Did the developers just put them in there to scare us? To give us something to talk about? If that's the case, then it worked. After hearing all these interesting theories and learning this new information from the Gamer from Mars, I continued my research. And what I found next totally made me change the way I looked at the Hell Valley sky trees forever. Just like it's easy to fall into the scary part of the internet, after searching around a little bit, I actually stumbled into the informational part of the internet. Can you believe that? Because I can't. This is a Kodama. They are spirits from Japanese folklore. They are portrayed as small white humanoids with large heads, slender features, and creepy mask-like faces. And get this, they are believed to live in trees. Cutting down a tree which houses a Kodama is thought to bring bad luck. They are depicted in many different forms of Japanese media. Trees, you say? Hell Valley sky trees, the wooded area in 3DS Land? Wait a minute, this is starting to make sense. Are these the strange figures we see in Herobrine Galaxy? Are they Kodama? Or are they alien? Or are they both? Because technically they're in a different galaxy, but they're ghosts, which
But then again, the gamer from Mars,
the
they
type
don't
of
spirit
either could be
Ghost
for
3DS
Land,
Land,
Shiverburn,
so
Galaxy,
3DS Land
Kadama,
would
and
Slenderman,
if you
Gamer
will,
from
or
Mars,
you know, these strange figures,
Shiverburn,
Alien,
wooded area.
Alright, enough. It could drive you crazy if you look too much into it. Either way, believe whatever theory you wish. As of right now, Nintendo has made no official statement. There is no wrong answer. They could be ghosts, aliens, Kadama, or like the gamer from Mars theorized, they could be an original creation developed by Nintendo. Me personally, I feel like they are Nintendo's take on the Kadama. They were created to cause buzz amongst players, which it has, and I don't think that we've seen the last of them yet. As we've journeyed beyond Hell Valley, we have discovered how creepy Mario really can be. I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it again. It's much creepier to me when it's a family-orientated title. You expect scares out of games like Dead Space or Silent Hill, not a Nintendo title. It just doesn't fit the tone of the otherwise cheerful games. It makes me wonder if these strange figures are in other Mario games and we just haven't found them yet. If you've seen more in other Mario titles, then let me know in the comments below. Maybe Nintendo is laying down the groundwork for a future game. We'll just have to wait and see. Whether it was a Nintendo developer having some fun or serving a deeper purpose, these Hell Valley sky trees and the figure in Super Mario 3D Land have definitely earned a spot in creepy gaming history. If you have a suggestion for creepy gaming, then let me know in the comments. I would like to thank the gamer from Mars for sharing his thoughts and theories. Be sure to subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. Special thanks to Yellow Thunder 1712 for the Super Mario 3D Land footage. I would like to thank each and every one of you for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my newly launched Mullet Mike channel and follow me on Twitter. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Creepy Gaming. I am Mullet Mike with a paddle and yow saying,
It's a go time. Let's go.
peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, blah, 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 blah. You get it. Mullet Mike here, bringing you yet another episode of Creepy Gaming. If you're just joining us, this is a show where we take a look at all kinds of creepy video game aspects. You wanted it? You got it. Today, I will be going over probably my most highly requested episode to date. Sonic.exe. So, without further ado, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming.
Sonic.exe. For whatever reason, Sonic the Hedgehog has had a lot of creepy coincidences over the years. From the hidden message in Sonic CD to the Tails doll curse from Sonic R, this blue hedgehog has been the center of creepy gaming controversy. Since starting this series, I have continuously gotten requests for Sonic.exe. If you know me, then you know I'm not a big fan of gaming creepypastas. Some are okay, but they usually tend to be the same story. Two friends, strange looking disc or cartridge, usually with the name written on it in a black marker, plenty of opportunities to quit playing said game. The game breaks the fourth wall, disrupts the players' lives, usually resulting in their deaths. Slap a .exe or .jpeg or .wmv and you got yourself a cliche creepypasta. But in all fairness, Sonic.exe has been around for a while, and because so many of you have requested this episode, I will attempt to put my skepticism to the side and present to you Sonic.exe. Alright, let's start with the story itself. Rather than just read you the creepypasta word for word, I will give you my own abridged version of the story.
Much like the Tells doll curse, this story revolves around two friends, Tom and Kyle. Tom, the guy telling the story, claims that his friend Kyle, who he hasn't seen in a while, sent him a letter along with a strange disc. The word sonic.exe was written on the disc with a black marker. The letter Tom received stated, "Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you could do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me, and if you don't destroy this CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Destroy the disc and you'll destroy him. But do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please, Kyle." So Tom did what anybody else would do. He played the game after his obviously disheveled friend pleaded with him to destroy the disc. Dumbass. He plays sonic.exe and immediately notices something wrong with the game. Gee, you think? Okay, no, I'm sorry. Back to the story. I'll be here all day. So when Tom began the game, he noticed the title screen quickly changed for a split second. The background looked dark and gloomy. What was once the blue water turned into a sea of blood. The copyright year in the bottom corner changed to say Sega 666. And to top things off, Sonic's eyes were blackened as blood poured from his sockets. Tom then saw what looked like a character select screen, very reminiscent of the Sonic 3 save selection. The playable characters were Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, which is strange because Eggman was never a playable character in early Sonic games. Tom selected Tails and began the first level. He saw that there were no enemies, no obstacles, nothing. As he progressed through the stage, he began to see small, dead animals, bloodied, scattered, all throughout the level. That's when he saw what looked like Sonic. No. This is the part of the creepypasta where most normal people would quit playing the damn game. But the main character, in this case Tom, continues to play either out of curiosity or from some outside party forcing him. Needless to say, Tom kept playing. The next level started with a title card saying "Hide and Seek." The stage design looked very much like Angel Island from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Tom claims that Tails actually looked at him and began to make frantic gestures, as if the game was actually trying to communicate with him. This is what happened next. How about no? Now this is the part of the story where the player is given a second chance to quit the game, but instead, once again, thinks that continuing to play the game would be the smarter move. In all fairness, I guess it would make for a pretty shitty story if he was just like, fuck this. So anyways, Tom continues to play this strange game. He then selected Knuckles, but Knuckles unfortunately shared the same fate as Tails did. After Knuckles met his demise, Tom noticed that the character select screen showed a bloodied Tails and a bloodied Knuckles. At this point, Tom shut the game off. He didn't know what to think. Tom then took a nap, in which he'd later regret.
because his nightmares were filled with the cries of Tails and Knuckles. He then saw the sketchy Sonic and woke up in a fright. Tom tried figuring out exactly what was going on. After hours of contemplation, Tom decides to play Sonic.exe again and to finish the game as Robotnik. This is what happened next. Suddenly, Sonic popped right in front of Robotnik the same way he did with the previous characters. The static lasted longer than it had before, then revealing to Tom a very creepy image. Tom claims he saw a hyper-realistic picture of Sonic with glowing red eyes, fang-like teeth, as well as blood dripping from his mouth. The image lasted for about 30 seconds before static flickered 3 times. Tom then heard what sounded like a demonic laugh, followed by the message, "I am God." It was then Tom had an epiphany, and I quote, "This Sonic was a monster, a pure evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just his little toys. And the game is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world and the very hell his victims are trapped in." End quote. One last text came up. Shortly after, the computer shut itself off. Tom was unable to restart it for quite some time. When he finally was able to get it turned back on, he heard a voice from behind him. He swiftly turned around only to find sitting on his bed was a Sonic plushie, smiling with bloodstains under its eyes. So there you have it. That's Sonic.exe in a nutshell. The creepypasta itself is kinda cliche, but because it's been around for so long, this is a perfect example of what came first, the chicken or the egg. Which creepypasta came first, Tails Doll or Sonic.exe? After hours of research, I could not find any definitive evidence that this story really happened. The gameplay you have been watching throughout this video has been a fan-made game based on the creepypasta. You can even see the credits on the game over screen. In all fairness, this guy made a pretty good interpretation of the story. The game over music from Sonic CD was a nice touch. I remember when I first read this creepypasta. At the time, there was no known quote-unquote actual gameplay. This screenshot was the only item floating around at the time. It left a lot to the imagination. It made you want to go on a YouTube hunt and try to find any actual footage, but because the time we live in, it has made it nearly impossible. Video games can be hacked, and photos can be edited. It's hard to be credible on the internet without the proper sources. So overall, what do I think? Well, personally, I don't find it that scary. Just my opinion, but I think that it's kind of overrated. The story is good for entertainment purposes, but I don't personally find it all that frightening. I don't mean to bash the creepypasta or anything, I just think it gets enough praise already. So what about the story itself? Well, if I switch perspectives and look at it for what it's worth as an entertaining story, then it's pretty good. This creepypasta does a good job of making you want to know what's going to happen next. You can't help but ask yourself what you would do if you were in Tom's shoes, and for that, it serves its purpose. I will say this much. Sonic the Hedgehog and creepy gaming go hand in hand. I don't know what it is about this guy, but I look forward to finding more scary Sonic stuff.
So either way, regardless of how you feel about Sonic.exe, whether you think it's the best creepypasta in the world or the biggest pile of horseshit you've ever heard, you've got to respect it. You've got to at least appreciate it. Because sonic.exe will forever go down in creepy gaming history. If you have a suggestion for creepy gaming, please let me know in the comments below. I think that's going to do it for me today, guys. I am Mullet Mike with Stay creepy. Thanks for watching. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike, welcome. I am Mullet Mike, bringing you yet another episode of Creepy Gaming. This is the show where I go over all kinds of scary aspects in video game history. If you didn't know already, we are currently in Season 3, the season of highly requested episodes. This might come to a shock to some of you, but this was a very highly requested episode. Today, we will be covering none other than Red Dead Redemption. Thanks to all these fine folks right here. We appreciate it. Thanks for all your support and suggestions. So, without further ado, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming. Hey, where's that Red Dead case at? What the fuck?
My name's John Marston.
Released in 2010 for the PS3 and Xbox 360, Red Dead Redemption told the story of a former outlaw fighting for, well, his redemption. Developed by Rockstar, the makers of the GTA series, you play as John Marston, a former outlaw who wants to move on from his past and focus more on his family. Redemption is the spiritual successor to 2004's Red Dead Revolver. This game is awesome. Beautiful graphics, amazing storytelling, perfect musical score, and hours upon hours of replay value. I can't praise this game enough. Taking place in 1911 in the American Old West, this game actually plays it pretty straightforward and down to earth, much like the GTA games. There's an open world environment, main story missions, side quests, plenty of extracurricular activities, and a ton of wilderness to explore. I mean, look at the size of this map.
Fuck. Holy shit!
There are a few fantastical occurrences that can happen, but the game is grounded in reality for the most part. Red Dead Redemption might not seem creepy on the surface, but don't let it fool you. This game has a dark side. Now, because there is so much ground to cover, I will not be talking about Undead Nightmare in this episode. It's too different. I consider that a completely separate game in its own right. Today I will be talking about creepy aspects of the main game, and I'll get to Undead Nightmare sometime down the road. Now this episode of Creepy Gaming is going to be different. I won't just be going over creepy Easter eggs. I'm not just going to go over my favorite scary locations or side quests. Saddle up, motherfuckers, because I'm about to cover it all! All of the above. We will be covering creepy Easter eggs, scary locations, and putting the strange in the stranger side quest. This is gonna be good. Now, let's start this creepy expedition out in the old sleepy town of Tumbleweed. Much like the ghost town of Tarnation from Red Dead Revolver, Tumbleweed was a large town, but later abandoned after the railroad was built. If you get your hands on a newspaper in the single-player campaign, you may stumble across an article claiming that Tumbleweed may actually be haunted. This caused an uproar in the gaming community and made players venture out and explore the old ghost town. Rumors began to run rampant Rockstar has a reputation for planting creepy hidden Easter eggs in previous games. Why would this one be any different? That one single newspaper article started a debate that comes up every time someone mentions this game. That debate has lasted to this very day. Is Tumbleweed haunted? Well, there is no doubt that going to Tumbleweed at night can be a creepy experience by itself. The ghost town consists of 4 major areas: the church and graveyard, the barn, the mansion on the hill, and the town itself. Let's start with the church. Going to the church in the middle of the night, you'll immediately notice that there is a light coming from within the building. Creepy, considering this town is supposed to be abandoned. In all fairness, Tumbleweed is used as a gang hideout in multiplayer, so it's probably their light. Outside of the church lies a small graveyard. Something strange that you may notice is that most burial plots are old with aged tombstones, but a few of them look fresh, as if someone has recently been buried there. If you get a chance, be sure to check out the epitaph on the tombstones. Some of them are actually pretty funny, but others can be quite morbid. It should be noted that there are several graveyards throughout the game, from Coots Chapel to Old Fellow's Rest, each with their own creepy vibe. Be sure to check out those locations if you get a chance. But anyways, back to the topic at hand, the Old Tumbleweed Church. Inside the sanctuary itself, all rumors aside, one definitive piece of creepy evidence can be found on the pulpit. If you look closely, the words, "The devil has gotten into that beast," have been carved into the wood. So what does this mean exactly? Well, there are several sketches and carvings throughout the course of the game. Most of them are actually cheats, but this one is not for whatever reason. So what does this saying mean? There's a lot of theories out there, but most players believe this is reference to the war horse, or even the old skinny horse, which can sometimes be found oddly hitched in the abandoned ghost town. The town itself sits in the center of a valley, along with the barn. Tumbleweed houses many dilapidated buildings, including a jailhouse, saloon, and general store. Last but not least is the creepy mansion on the hill. I've heard all kinds of rumors regarding this old house. The Red Dead Wikia has a full page of them. Rockstar has played it really smart by pleading the fifth and not confirming nor denying any of these allegations. Reports have claimed hearing voices, strange sounds, seeing ghostly apparitions, and witnessing floating lights. Because of all the rumors and reports, I decided to investigate Tumbleweed myself, just to see what kind of footage I could capture. What you are about to see has not been changed, altered, or edited with sound in any way. This is the raw footage. So all rumors aside, this was the hardcore evidence I could find. The mansion itself has 3 stories: the ground floor, a second story, and a basement. When I was on the first floor, I recorded this series of unexplainable sounds. You'll hear what sounds like footsteps, followed by the floor creaking, and then what sounds like a door opening. Listen closely, you'll hear the music, but if you listen past the music, you'll hear what sounds like either a door shutting or closing. Also, I want everyone to know that I was alone in the house at the time of this recording. Here, I'll play it again just in case you missed it. You may also hear the wind blow in between these unexplainable sounds, but nothing strange about that. really don't know what to make of it. That's just what it sounds like to me personally. Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below, or if you've had your own experience in Tumbleweed. I don't know if these sounds are in any other abandoned buildings or if they were just programmed only to be specifically in the town of Tumbleweed, but either way, I thought that was pretty creepy. The basement level of the house has a really eerie vibe. With its tight corridors and low lighting, it actually reminds me of the basement from the Blair Witch Project. Here you will find a gold location for all you treasure hunters out there, but it begins to get creepy when you will soon discover an old wooden casket nearby. There is no good reason for this to be here. You'll see other caskets around the game, but never in a house like this. I don't know what to make of it. The next Easter egg, if you even want to call it that, requires you to go to the Tumbleweed Mansion at 6 in the morning game time. If you look up in the sky, you will see a large group of bats fly towards the house. As far as I know, this is the only time and place in the game that this happens. Pretty strange considering that the town is supposed to be haunted. Now, there are tons of animals in this game. It should also be noted that unlike every other creature in this game, the bats cannot be shot or collected. Now, whether or not there really is something creepy programmed into Tumbleweed, or if it was just a giant rumor started from the newspapers planted by developers, it has given this ghost town a certain mystique and wonder about it. Now let's talk about some of the stranger side quests. There are several of these side missions throughout the game. They're optional and not pivotal to the plot, but I suggest you play a few. For a game that has a more realistic tone than, I don't know, let's say Saints Row, there are some very, very bizarre side quests. These strangers are marked on your map with a purple question mark, and they are scattered throughout the game's vast map. On the mission Flowers for a Lady, a strange old man asks you to retrieve certain flowers for him so he could give them to his wife. Once you return to the old man's cabin with all the flowers, he asks you if you want to come in and meet the missus. Well, this is how the mission concludes.
Come on in, have some tea with me and Annabelle. I'm sure she'd love the company.
All right, maybe just for a few minutes.
It's my other half, lovely Annabelle.
Okay, what the fuck?
It's my other half, lovely Annabelle.
Okay, what the fuck? The first time I played through this part, I didn't know what to think. I sure as hell wasn't expecting that. This one will definitely be filed under strange. Let's dig deeper into some creepier aspects. Another stranger side quest that is definitely worth an honorable mention would be American Appetites. People have gone missing, and as you search for them, you begin to unravel a dark mystery. One by one, you begin fitting puzzle pieces together. You eventually find out that there is a camp of cannibals who have been kidnapping and eating their victims. This side mission definitely took the game in a darker direction. The final stranger side quest I will be covering and I want to spend the most time on is the mission I Know You. This has got to be my favorite and probably the most creepy side quest there is in my own opinion. Throughout the game, you may come across this mysterious man who claims that he knows you. but never reveals how. This strange man gives you a series of tasks. Each of these involves some kind of moral dilemma. The side quests all share a major theme of the human conscience, the decisions that determine right and wrong, good or bad. Things really get interesting with your final encounter with the strange man. You meet the stranger on top of a hill overlooking Beecher's Hope. For those who don't know, is inevitably the Marston Ranch. The strange man continues to speak in riddles, only frustrating John Marston even more. Here is the final encounter. Pay close attention to both the location and what the stranger says.
Ain't this a beautiful spot?
Sure. What are you doing here?
My accounts. I'm an accountant.
Is that so?
In a way.
What's your name?
You know, it's the darndest thing. I can't remember.
Tell me your damn name and where you know me from.
Well, I know you're from Mexico. I know you're from back out west. I know you from all over.
Tell me your name or I won't be responsible for my actions.
Oh, but you will. You will be responsible. This is a fine spot. See you around, cowboy.
Damn you!
Yes, many have.
Strange indeed. As you could see, the bullets clearly had no effect on this man. Also notice how John Marston fired exactly 3 shots. Well, we'll get back to that here in just a second. Major spoilers. If you haven't completed the single player mode and don't want to know how it ends, then skip to this time. At the end of the main game campaign, John Marston is gunned down by lawmen. It has got to be one of the most heart-wrenching game endings I have ever played. It makes you get emotionally invested. It's very, very well done. After John dies, you then get to play as his son, Jack Marston. You will notice the location of his father's grave is the same location of Beecher's Hope where the final confrontation occurred between you and the strange man. John Marston fired 3 shots exactly. Now here lies 3 graves, his wife, uncle, and his own. Pretty creepy. So who was this strange man? There are, of course, many theories. One of the most popular being that the strange man is God. Considering how he said this.
Damn you!
Yes, many have.
Also considering how he sends you to the nun in the second part of the task. Another popular theory is the complete opposite side of the coin, that the strange man may in fact be the devil himself. Some players also believe that the strange man may be a ghost from John Marston's shady, reckless past, haunting him for all the wrong that he has done. Either way, this strange man takes this already amazing game with great depth and actually makes it deeper. Wow. Bravo. Well done. I am impressed. Hats off to you, Rockstar. With its eerie ghost towns, silent graveyards, delusional citizens, and omnipotent beings, the world of Red Dead Redemption definitely has a dark side to it. This game, again, not even counting Undead Nightmare, can be really creepy. Looking back, thinking about it, there was so much injustice in the Old West. There was so much tragedy, so much despair that the ghost of the past will travel these dusty plains for eternity. So there you have it. For a game that's based in reality for the most part, Red Dead Redemption had a lot of creepiness to it.
It's good stuff. Definitely worth the play if you haven't already. I would like to thank you all for watching the show, supporting the show. Be sure to like, comment, and favorite down below. I think that's going to do it for me today, guys. Hi, I'm Mullet Mike with the... Keep it sticky, stay creepy. Thanks for watching. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike, welcome. I am Mullet Mike, bringing you yet another episode of Creepy Gaming. This is the show where we take a look at all kinds of creepy aspects in video game history. For starters, you may notice I am in my new house. Had to get out of that other place, I swear. I know it's going to sound weird, but I think the place was haunted. Bad thing is I've done so many creepy gaming episodes now, I don't know what or who it could be. It could be sonic.exe, it could be Tails Doll, it could be Ben, or even worse, it could be cliche.exe. That's the worst one. It was just getting weird. Things were moving on their own, objects were just mysteriously disappearing. It's hearing all these strange sounds. I'm just glad I'm in a new place. Ghost-free guarantee. I would like to thank everybody for watching because this is viewer appreciation. That's right, 1 full year of creepy gaming. Today, we will be covering none other than Minecraft. Rather than giving sticky shout-outs for suggestions, this week our sticky shout-outs will go to people who submitted footage for this very episode. So, special sticky shout out to all these fine folks. Damn, that's just impressive. Thank you all for submitting your footage. So, without further ado, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming. Damn right nothing happened. Shit! Every so often, a new title comes around and totally revolutionizes the video game industry. None more so than Minecraft. What started as just a little independent game eventually developed a cult following, then hit mainstream audiences, and eventually took its rightful place in pop culture. Even non-gamers are familiar, or at least know of Minecraft. Created by Marcus Notch Pearson, this sandbox construction game has brought players together for endless hours of entertainment. Minecraft is a perfect example of gameplay over graphics. You don't necessarily have to have awesome next-gen graphics in order to be a fun game. The premise of the game is fairly simple, and really to me, that is the appeal of the title. Minecraft is whatever you make of it. Coming complete with 3 single-player modes and online multiplayer, this game involves players creating and or destroying various types of blocks in a 3D environment. You can create block structures without limit, giving you, the player, the ability to form your own personalized artwork. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Minecraft, then you're probably wondering, what is it about this innocent-looking game that can be so damn creepy? Well, you might be surprised. There are strange mobs, creepy locations, and of course, the notorious Herobrine. Let's start with the mob. If you're not familiar with Minecraft lore and terminology, mobs are living, moving game entities. They can be basic NPCs such as pigs, cows, sheep, and villagers, but there are always 2 sides to the coin. With passive mobs also comes hostile mobs. These include strange characters such as witches, skeletons, and even zombies. Yes, zombies. There are also neutral mobs. Ugh, I feel like I'm saying mobs a lot. Mobs. Neutral mobs include Zombie Pigman, not to be confused with the Man-Bear Pig, as well as the infamous Enderman. You guessed it, Enderman is Minecraft's take on Slenderman. With its long, slender features as well as the power to teleport, this Enderman can usually be found in the End, which is a creepy enough location in its own right. It can also spawn in the overworld, but that's rare. Known for its creepy demeanor, discovering Enderman late at night can be an eerie experience. Because they are a neutral mob, they will not attack you on sight unless provoked. If you provoke an Enderman, it will stand still staring at you with an evil gaze. With its trembling, gaping mouth, Enderman will emit a long, loud, unsettling scream. It's enough to make you want to piss yourself. Same goes for the creepers. Words can't describe how creepy it is collecting resources at night, the lack of soundtrack, next thing you know, BAM! Because of their near silent approach, these four-legged fuckers can scare you if you're not expecting it. The green suicide bombers also produce a hissing noise when they are about to explode. If you hear the hiss, then it's probably already too late. Now, for what most of you have been waiting for, the legend of Herobrine. Now, because this is viewer appreciation, I chose a loyal sticky sub to go over the creepypasta of Herobrine. I selected Doug, aka Fishy. He is a graphics artist, musician, and longtime viewer of Creepy Gaming. Alright, Doug, share with us your knowledge of Herobrine.
Hello everyone, my name's Doug, and this guy right here is Herobrine. He's the spawn of a creepypasta, but if you don't know what a creepypasta is, then you certainly shouldn't be watching this video. Throughout my part in this video, I'll be analysing Herobrine in two sections, through community, views on him, and the canonical respects on him. But let's get this out of the way first. It's Herobrine, not Herobrine, okay?
Sorry!
Let's go through the story behind Herobrine itself. I had recently spawned a new world in single-player Minecraft. Everything was normal at first. I noticed something move amongst the dense fog. I have a very slow computer, so I have to play with a tiny render distance. I thought it was a cow, so I pursued it, hoping to grab some hides for armor. It wasn't a cow, though. Looking back at me was another character with a default skin, but his eyes were empty. I saw no name pop up, and I double-checked to make sure I wasn't in multiplayer mode. He didn't stay long, however. He looked at me and quickly ran into the fog. I pursued out of curiosity, but he was gone. I continued on with the game, not sure what to think. As I expanded to the world, I saw things that seemed out of place for the random map generator to make. 2x2 tunnels in the rocks, small perfect pyramids made of sand in the ocean, and groves of trees with all their leaves cut off. I would constantly think I saw this other player in the deep fog, but I never got a better look at him. I tried increasing my render distance to far whenever I thought I saw him, but to no avail. I saved the map and went on the forums to see if anyone else had found this pseudo player. There were none. I created my own topic telling of the man, asking if anyone had a similar experience. The post was deleted within 5 minutes. I tried again, and the topic was deleted even faster. I received a PM from the username Herobrine, containing one word: stop. When I went to look at Herobrine's profile at page 404, I received an email from another user. He claimed that the mods can read the forum user messages, so we were safer using email. The emailer claimed that he had seen the mystery player too, and had a small directory of other users who had seen him as well. Their worlds were littered with obviously man-made features as well, and described their mystery player to have no pupils. About a month passed until I heard from my informant again. Some of the people who had encountered the mystery man had looked into the name Herobrine and found that the name was used frequently by a Swedish gamer. After some further information gathering, it was revealed to be the brother of Notch, the game's developer. I personally emailed Notch and asked him if he had a brother. It took him a while, but he emailed me back with a very short message. The message read, "I did, but he is no longer with us. Notch." I haven't seen the mystery man since our first encounter, and I haven't noticed any changes to the world other than my own. I was able to press print screen when I first saw him. And I'm just going to get Mike to put up a picture of Herobrine right here.
Oh, yeah.
So, sort of like the first analysis through this is, in the canonical respect, Herobrine is Notch's dead brother somehow embedded into Minecraft. While this is canon, this is also completely false in reality, as Notch has no brother. Ghost aside, there are two plausible canon theories remaining. Herobrine shows a lot of characteristics of being a form of virus, such as manipulating the worlds, deleting threads, or sending messages through the Minecraft forums. Perhaps also hacking into Notch's email to reply to his own existence, or Herobrine is simply a fragment of the user's imagination. All the users the user talked to, including Notch's email reply, could simply be the creation of the player's mind. This would also explain Notch's rejection of the canon, as showing the story all in the user's head. Herobrine is nearly certainly inspired by Slenderman, who is also the inspiration behind Enderman. The most popular theories amongst the community is that Herobrine is a ghost. Other theories could involve him as being a higher being, a demon, or a bad omen, or the suggestions in the canonical explanation. However, most of these are written as if Minecraft itself is reality, rather than from the player controlling the avatar with the game. Herobrine canonically has not appeared in real life and remains confined to technology. His appearance isn't that widely speculated, the canonical view being a human entity with no pupils or irises, with a standard player skin. The community view being the same, but sometimes with tools. Herobrine has appeared in official Mojang images as an inside joke kind of thing. His first appearance in official Mojang images started with Wedding Weekend, in which he was just behind Notch's character. His second appearance was in the Minecon header, where yet again Herobrine was just behind Notch. Herobrine has also appeared in the official Minecon trailer created by Hat Films at 3 minutes and 11 seconds. However, as users were asked to submit their skins to appear in the trailer, this is not likely intentional. Herobrine was also spotted at the Xbox section of Minecon. He was on the board behind the Xbox stations. During Minecon's closing, a user named Zaralith won the Herobrine statue by answering the giveaway question for how many Fable games are there correctly. Some users point to this as proof of his future edition, however there is no proof of he is being portrayed by anything other than baiting fans. Herobrine has also appeared on Minecraft's Facebook page, the image being the cover photo. It is notable to state the image was created by a fan for a competition within the theme Summer Picnic, hence its inclusion may not be fully intentional. There are many changelogs, including the update removed Herobrine. The first time this was included was merely as a joke, but from this has sprouted a strongly backed community behind Herobrine. A lot of people have speculated rumours that the music disc 11 in the game has something to do with Herobrine. C418 was asked about this and he claimed he had nothing to do with this. Since then there have been an absolute shit ton of theories and mystical sightings which have put a lot of users off playing, but a true gamer is never deterred by whatever the community creates or makes up. That's sort of my part for the video, so if you want to have a look at my channel, there's a link in the description, but don't be taken straight away because there's nothing serious on there. I really quickly just like to thank Mike for letting me be on his channel, and yeah, just enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you very much.
Not a problem, thank you. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge of Herobrine with us. So, what are your thoughts? Is Herobrine real? Or is it just another bullshit creepypasta? As always, be sure to let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Out of all the video game creepypastas I've read, I personally feel like Herobrine could be real. Whether or not it's Notch's dead brother or the game's really haunted, I don't know about all that. But if you are familiar with the game's creator, then you know he has a great sense of humor. I could see this easily being a product of Notch's humor. Either way, Herobrine has caused buzz amongst the community, giving Minecraft even more recognition. Being a PC game, Minecraft has a ton of mods. There's an adventure map entitled Herobrine's Mansion, as well as a ton of skins and texture packs. Because of this, we may never know the true story of Herobrine.
So there you have it. What have we learned today? Well, usually these cute little innocent games end up being the most creepy. Whether you agree with it or not, whether you believe in it or not, Herobrine and the rest of the creepy shit in Minecraft will forever go down in creepy gaming history. I would like to thank you all for watching. I would like to thank Doug for his commentary. I would like to thank you all for your support for making this 1 full year of creepy gaming. Here is to many, many more. I think that's going to do it for me today, guys. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, leave your comments, thoughts, and theories below, and be sure to like and favorite for more creepy gaming. Hi, I'm Mullet Mike with a title, and y'all say keep it stay creepy. Thanks for watching. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike, welcome. I am Mullet Mike, bringing you Creepy Gaming. This is the show where we take a look at all kinds of creepy aspects in video game history. It could be Easter eggs, it could be scary locations, it could even be a creepypasta or two. So, I just recently received this strange package in the mail containing 2 CDs, one of which really caught my eye. This is LSD Dream Emulator. Special shout out to all these fine folks right here. Thank you very much. Keep those suggestions coming and keep them sticky. So, without further ado, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming. Where'd that envelope go? Oh, thank you. In 1998, a rare video game was released in Japan for the original PlayStation. The game was called LSD, or more commonly known as LSD Dream Emulator. The game has developed a cult following within the last couple of years due to its release online. The game itself was published by sonic.exe Entertainment and designed by Osamu Sato. Some people may not know about this, but the LSD Dream Emulator was part of a bigger project based on Hiroko Nishikawa's Dream Journal. The game itself was one of 3 companion pieces, the other 2 being the official LSD soundtrack as well as a published version of the journal entitled Lovely Sweet Dream. Doesn't look so lovely to me. I mean, come on, does this look sweet to you? This is going to be a tough game to review, mainly because I've never played a game quite like this one. This title is all over the place. I mean, this game is fucked up. More than usual. You really do feel like you're tripping. But this isn't a good trip. Oh, no, 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 no. This is a bad trip. Ah! I'm freaking out! I can taste colors! Is that a sumo? What the fuck? LSD Dream Emulator is set in a first-person point of view in which you must navigate through different psychedelic dreamscapes. Your main objective is simple: explore. You can transport to different dreamscapes by running into objects. The world is constantly changing. Even if you return to a place you've already been to, you may notice a few subtle changes such as different colors and texture patterns. The game is set up like a dream journal. Each dream is recorded by day. At the end of the day, your dream is rated by 4 different categories: upper, downer, static, and dynamic. You can be a part of a psychedelic wonderland or be victim to a horrible nightmare. Sometimes the 2 even collide. This game is extremely random. You never know what you might run into. There is so much content and variables that the game almost never plays the same way twice. To me, that is one of the major creepy aspects of this game, is the uncertainty of what lies ahead. You could be in some peaceful village in daytime, just minding your own business, and then without notice be transported into some dark alleyway full of bloodied, dead bodies. You just never know what this game will throw at you. LSD Dream Emulator does a good job of making you feel alone. Yeah, sure, you'll run into a few people, creatures, and objects, but a lot of the time it's just you and your footsteps. And speaking of which, the sound design in this game helps create an eerie atmosphere. The sound of your footsteps depend on what it is you're stepping on. If you walk on these weird tiles, you'll hear some interesting sound effects. Okay, now that's enough. It's getting annoying now. That's enough. All right, shut up. Just fuck off. Just fuck off. The music in this game changes from dream to dream and ranges from something very upbeat in tempo to lower ambient sounds. For the most part, the dream sequences are pretty tame, but the nightmares or bad trips can get pretty intense. They're much darker in tone and feature some crazy visuals. It could be random dead bodies and pools of blood, faces on the walls, pterodactyls. Yes, pterodactyls. But probably the most disturbing of all has got to be the Shadow Man. Also known as the Gray Man, this enigmatic figure wears a long trench coat and will actually stalk you throughout your nightmares. Who does this guy think he is? The G-Man? After a while, you begin to train your eyes to look for him. Much like modern horror games, the anticipation of something popping up is almost more terrifying than the jump scare itself. That's a good way to describe this game. Tense anticipation. The Shadow Man does not have any kind of walking animation. He just continuously floats towards you, getting closer and closer. You feel like you can never truly outrun him. He'll just pop up somewhere else. This Shadow Man has been the subject of many creepypastas, and I could see him being partial inspiration for modern horror characters such as Slender Man. Here, let's take a look at a creepypasta based on LSD Dream Emulator. Mullet Mike presents to you Creepypasta Time. The Shadow Man comes to life and kills somebody. And this has been Creepypasta Time, brought to you by Mullet Mike. As I've said before, this is a tough game to review. I could talk about it all day, but really, you'll just have to play it for yourself to get the full effect. This game will leave you with the burning question of, what the fuck? LSD Dream Emulator isn't so much in-your-face scary as it is a good old-fashioned mind fuck. It will leave you with a weird feeling after you play it. This has got to be, in my own opinion, one of the most disturbing games I have ever played. And the reason the game is so disturbing is the element of trying to approach dreams with logic. It just can't be done. So there you have it. If you haven't played LSD Dream Emulator, I suggest you do so. It's fucked up. Be sure to like and favorite for more creepy gaming. If you have thoughts, theories, or suggestions, then be sure to leave them in the comments below. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter @StickyPaddle. I think that's going to do it for me today, guys. I am Mullet Mike with a sticky paddle and yow saying, what the fuck is that? Boys and girls, children of all ages, Mullet Mike here with the paddle and Yoush, bringing you Creepy Gaming. This is the show where we take a look at all kinds of creepy video game aspects. It could be creepy Easter eggs, scary locations. We might even cover a creepypasta or two. Last episode I received this strange disc, and honestly, I don't know where it came from, who sent it. I don't even know what's on it. Kind of scared to look at it, to be completely honest with you. When I come across a strange disc with a sketchy black marker written across it, there's only one expert that comes to mind. Let me make a phone call. This should only take a couple seconds, so just hold tight. Hold on. Mudahar, buddy. How's it going, man? No, things are good. They could be better, but things are good. How about yourself? Well, good. Glad to hear that. No, I haven't played that yet. Is it any good? Yeah? Oh, good. Yeah, no, I've heard good things about it. No, Booger Man is a masterpiece. It is. It's probably my favorite game on Sega Genesis. Oh, yeah, definitely. Almost as good as Moonwalker. Yeah, no, actually, I forgot what I was going to ask you. Can't remember. Oh, well, fuck it. Have you ever played Half-Life?
Most of you are probably already aware of the Half-Life series. If not, then what are you doing watching this? Go play it! It's awesome! Considered by many as some of the greatest games of all time, Half-Life is a very well-rounded series. Developed by Valve, the first Half-Life game was released in 1998 to a great response from both players and critics alike. The Half-Life games share the same universe with Valve's sister series, Portal. That being said, players have been patiently waiting for a follow-up to both titles, spawning the joke that Valve doesn't know how to count to 3. I've heard recently that Half-Life 3 has been confirmed, but I've heard this rumor so many times in the past that I won't believe it until I hold the damn game in my hand. Sorry about that. Just got my hopes up so many times. You play as Gordon Freeman, a theoretical physicist initially employed by the Black Mesa Research Facility. You may recognize Black Mesa as the competitor of Portal's Aperture Science Labs. Apparently, Black Mesa was researching this unknown crystal artifact. Through their experiments with the anti-mass spectrometer, an interdimensional rift was created. Did you get all that? Basically, a black hole was created, causing these strange creatures to enter our world. There, is that better? Now, that being said, Half-Life 2 is not so much a horror game as it is an action-adventure FPS. But don't let that fool you. It's not your typical first-person shooter. This game has a lot of character and a lot of creepiness to it. The creatures in this game have their own scare factor just by themselves. For example, in Half-Life 2, you will inevitably come across some zombies. Or even worse, fast zombies. No. But that's not the scary part. What's so freaky is the sounds that the zombies make. Here, let's take a listen. Pretty disturbing, right? Well, you just wait. The sounds are enough to haunt your dreams just by themselves, but it really gets creepy when I reverse that very same audio track.
Wow. I don't know who is credited as the voice actor for this soundbite, but somebody needs to check and make sure this fucker's still alive. The voiceover itself sounds like somebody being tortured, pleading, begging for their life. Why this clip was reversed, I have no idea. Maybe because it was so disturbing. Maybe this track was intended for a different character altogether. I don't know. Either way, pretty creepy. Leave it to Valve. Something similar was found in Portal 2 with the Ratman audio I covered in a previous episode. The backmasked audio makes for some good old-fashioned creepy gaming. Since I started the season of highly requested episode, one character's name kept popping up in the comments. That would be the G-Man. For those unaware, the G-Man is a character you will encounter on multiple occasions. This mysterious man is considered a sinister, interdimensional bureaucrat. He is always seen wearing a grayish-blue suit and most of the time carrying his trademark briefcase. He carries himself in a very strange manner and his way of speaking is creepy enough. He has an interesting way of putting emphasis on certain syllables. Just listen for yourself.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Not that I wish to imply you have been sleeping on the job. No one is more deserving of a rest, and all the effort in the world would have gone to waste until... well, let's just say your hour has come again.
The G-Man first appears in the Sector C line in the opposite tram during the first game's opening sequence. When you arrive at the test labs, you discover that the G-Man somehow has mysteriously arrived before you have. This is good indication as to what kind of omnipresent being you are dealing with here. That's what's so creepy about him, is the fact that he stalks you throughout the entire game, as well as its sequels. You will be walking, minding your own business, trying to reach your next objective. You'll see a figure moving in the distance. Upon further inspection, you will see that it's him. The G-Man can also be seen on various monitors throughout the game. Again, much like Doug Ratman, it can be a weird feeling of being followed, regardless if it's in a video game or not. The more you play, the more you will realize that the G-Man isn't stalking you as much as he is leading you. Now, from this point on, I will probably cover a spoiler or two, so spoiler alert. Alright, you ready for this? The games never fully explain who the G-Man is. They only spoon feed you just a little information at a time, just enough to make you want to find out more. At the end of the first game, you encounter the main boss. This creepy creature actually has the power of speech, which makes it that much more disturbing. And it speaks English too, how convenient. Most people believe that actually references the G-Man. Listen to this.
Their slaves we are, their slaves we are. You are man, he is not man. For you he waits, for you the truth. You can never know the truth.
After the boss battle, the G-Man brings you to safety in a strange sequence. The G-Man takes all of your items, claiming that most of them were quote-unquote government property, as he then explains that he's been watching you very carefully. Eventually, the scene changes into what appears to be a fast-moving Black Mesa tram. The G-Man then explains that he has recommended Gordon's services to his quote-unquote employers and offers him a job. The G-Man continuously refers to his employers. Who is he referencing? Now, we can talk about the G-Man's appearances throughout the series all day long, but what I want to discuss is the theories regarding this strange character. Who is he? I've heard rumors that the G-Man was initially supposed to be the overseer of Black Mesa, and then later rewritten for the sequels. I could buy that. A lot of stories get written as they go along. There's also speculation that the G-Man is actually Gordon Freeman, or at least some version of him. This theory is usually shot down pretty quick, though. The only reason people think that is because their names are so similar. Other players' theories include that the G-Man is actually God, or at least some kind of interdimensional being. Some say he's an alien, which I can see that. I've also heard the theory that the G-Man is some kind of Men in Black-like government agent. Is the government these mysterious employers that the G-Man keeps speaking of? Does he work for Black Mesa? Or possibly aliens? The truth is that Valve left a lot of mystery surrounding the G-Man on purpose to leave you wanting more. It's like that part in Half-Life 2 where you think you're going to get some information from Eli. It just leaves you wanting more. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just good storytelling. It makes you want to play more and progress further, looking for answers. And I'm sure more will be revealed if we ever do actually get a Half-Life 3. So, what are your thoughts and theories of the G-Man? Who is he? Who does he work for? Why does he always wear that same suit? What's in his briefcase? Who will win Big Brother this season? Whatever happened to Mutahar? Oh shit, Mutahar. Mutahar, buddy, you still there? Oh, good. Okay, I know you're a big Half-Life fan, so why don't you share with the creepy community your thoughts on the G-Man?
Thank you, Mike. So what do I think about G-Man from the Half-Life series? Well, I've been a Half-Life player for a very long time. I like the series, and G-Man was one of those characters that I always joked sometimes about, he's this IRS guy, or he's this, government dude who he's by the books, just there to investigate, and harmlessly did think he was more of a background character. But I think as you played the game more and more, Half-Life 1, he had this omnipresent feeling, like he was everywhere, like he was, like you did see him everywhere, and he has these inhuman powers where he can, go through parallel universes, all that. So my main theory that I go with is I do think that he is God, or I think a representation of God in the Half-Life universe. The reason for that is, like I said, he did have these superhuman powers that not everyone has, and he always appears here and there. And I think he's using Gordon as a pawn or a messenger type thing. He's using Gordon as a sort of messiah type figure, if you will. Like if you look in the Half-Life series, Gordon is sort of this messiah-like figure. He is considered special in the eyes of his peers and whatnot, and he's sort of considered as an enemy, if you will, to his aggressors. So I think that sort of relationship helps bring my theory into light. That he is this godlike entity, and I know it's not like some obscure theory. That is a general accepted, I guess, theory, if you will, of G-Man, that he is some sort of this omnipresent force. Another theory that I have, and I think Valve put G-Man in the game to put themselves into the game, to put a representation of themselves sort of being as the invisible pointer or the arrow or the guide to the goal in Half-Life, if you will. Leading the player here and there whenever they're astray. I think that's what Valve kind of did with G-Man, is they made this sort of creepy, mysterious figure that would work and serve in leading the player to another point A to point B or something like that. It's not like they couldn't do that already. I think that's what G-Man was really put in there for. Now, again, my main theory is still that he is this godlike entity, or a representation of God, or in fact God of the Half-Life universe. That's the theory I go with. But I also do roll with the theory that, Valve did put him in the game to be a guide, if you will, to lead the player one place to another. Really, those are the kind of theories I'm rolling on. But yeah, that's really my take on the G-Man. So yeah, back to you, Mike.
I gotta admit, those are some pretty good theories. I want to thank you for sharing your thoughts and opinions with all these fine folks out here. Oh no, you'll be hearing from me again. Alright, talk to you later. So there you have it. What are your thoughts on the G-Man? What do you think about Half-Life 2? So be sure to leave your thoughts, theories, and suggestions in the comments below. I like to call you all the creepy community because I see these videos as perfect forums for everybody to talk about their theories. Be sure to like and favorite for more creepy gaming. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman.
And today, guys, I'd like to thank Mudahar from Some Ordinary Gamers and Haunted Gaming for being a part of this episode. I am Mullet Mike with this telling you, saying keep it stay creepy. Thanks for watching. Peace. Fuck! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike, welcome. Welcome all. I am Mullet Mike, bringing you Creepy Gaming. If you've been following the series for the last couple of weeks, then you know I recently received a disc entitled Cliche.exe. Anyways, I recently opened it up and checked it out, and really it was just a bunch of creepypasta hacks that I've already reviewed. But one that was on there that I have not was the infamous Mario creepypasta. Special sticky shout out to all these fine folks right here. Thank you very much. Thank you for those suggestions. Now, besides just reviewing this creepypasta, I'm also going to share my thoughts and theories as to what makes Mario so creepy. Alright, so sit back and relax as we're about to cover the creepypasta simply known as Mario. So whoa, wait a minute. So what, every time I go into extreme close-up we're gonna get that really weird, crazy music cue? No. Let's put this out to the test. Titty sprinkles. Turn the lights down, volume as we turn in some creepy gaming.
Being the most recognizable character in video game history, Mario has been the subject of many theories, debates, and creepypastas. What is it about this mustachioed plumber in red that makes his stories and Easter eggs so creepy? Maybe it's the fact that the character is as innocent as he is. If you look at the attributes of Mario's character, he is your typical good guy. He's brave, fearless, has no real bad intentions, he is a loyal companion and brother, he never complains no matter how repetitive his task may be. Mario does not have the downfalls of typical human nature that we can all fall victim of. So again, I ask, what is it about Mario that makes these creepypastas and theories stand out more than a typical scary video game story? I've obviously been giving it a lot of thought, and the only real answer that comes to mind is that the character of Mario has played a big part in most of our childhoods. That being said, when we hear something creepy related to Mario, it doesn't just rattle our senses, but coincidentally attacks our childhoods as well. The same can be said about Lost episode creepypastas. What does Suicide Mouse, the Rugrats theory, and Squidward's suicide all have in common? They are all figures that you may have watched as a kid. SpongeBob, Mickey Mouse, and the Rugrats are all innocent characters for the most part, causing a more intense reaction to these twisted tales that we may have read. Now, I've said it before, if a video game is meant to be scary and intended for mature audiences, then we get what we pay for. But if it's a family-orientated title, then it comes across that much more unexpected. Now, there is no shortage of Mario creepypastas. There's a couple for Super Mario 64, there's Super Mario Sunshine, Mario Kart Wii, Hotel Mario, the 13th Hotel, but the one I'd like to focus on is simply titled Mario. Starting on the website SMW Central, this creepypasta seems to be one of the more popular. It was first posted in the site's forums in December of 2010. It's an older creepypasta, but because of the overwhelming demand from the creepy community, I feel like it belongs in the season of highly requested episodes. A user by the name of Adam posted what he claimed to be a true story. Adam states that after searching through the hacks waiting to be moderated section, he finds a strange entry. After downloading, he noticed that this Mario hack came with a jumbled text document. The only recognizable text was the repeated phrase, "Find me." When starting the ROM, it appears to be almost identical to Super Mario World. Once you start the game, though, you will begin to see a few subtle changes. For starters, the title screen just says Mario. Nothing too creepy about that. But once you start the game, you'll notice that the in-game text boxes begin to reveal a dark story. The first text box encountered says the following. Look closely to the last line. Mario is at it again. Adam interpreted this as Mario being the antagonist of this particular story rather than the protagonist. He first went to what used to be known as Yoshi's house in the original game. When he hit the advice box, all that popped up was a series of binary code signed by Yoshi. According to Adam, it said Notepad. As he continued to play, he noticed that the first stage was renamed. Rather than saying Yoshi's Island 1, like it said in Super Mario World, it now stated, Never Come Back. When he started the level, he quickly noticed that there was no music as well as no enemies. Throughout the course of the game, the advice boxes say such phrases as, I hate you, this is the selfish way out, and even, don't you think you've caused enough trouble? It really begins to get good after Adam faces the first boss, Iggy. In Super Mario World, this would be where the cutscene, if you'd even call it that, shows Mario rescuing the egg from the castle. Instead of the usual uplifting message, Adam was treated to this. The strange message reads like it was a coroner's report giving grisly detail as to what happened to victim number 1. He questioned who this victim was. Was it Princess Peach? Or was it a real victim from our world? The story continues on with more strange texts and level designs. In the final level of this ROM, Mario is taken to a small room with a pit and brick wall. With nowhere else to go, Adam guides Mario through the pit, only to find out that there is really an unseen floor underneath. He tried pressing the down button in multiple places until he finally found a hidden pipe. Adam waited for the next level, but it didn't progress any further. Just a blank screen. That was it. That was the end. Adam has theories as to what this abrupt ending meant. This is a direct quote from his post. This was the video game representation of death, a crash. Mario had died. After playing, I think I finally understand what was happening. I believe Mario was atoning for his actions, eventually being plummeted into a hell that looked exactly like Yoshi's Island, where he was lost to the grip of death forever. Now, as is, this is a pretty interesting creepypasta. But that's not all. It really kicks it up a notch and takes it to a whole new level of fuckery. Another forum user remembered the strange text document that accompanied the hack. The only eligible text was "Find me," and that's exactly what this user did. They realized that this jumbled text was really code for a JPEG header. After tweaking around with it for a bit, this image was soon discovered. Okay, I've tried to keep this review tame, but this is my breaking point. What in the bloody teetotaling blue hell on an ice cream fuck bar in Shit Stick Sunday is this all about? Fuck you, fuck her, fuck him, fuck this. Who's got 2 thumbs and not gonna sleep tonight? This guy. This image is fucked up. It's just fucked. Okay, now I'm better now. I'm better. Just had to release the beast, season 1 style. So, what is this creepy image all about? Is this the victim that was mentioned after the first castle boss? Look closely, it matches the description. This definitely takes the creepypasta in a darker direction. It was a nice callback. After thoroughly soiling my best pair of khakis, I decided to do a little research. I wanted to know more about this Adam guy. I had a couple of questions for him. I looked up his profile on the website. Apparently, he has been a member for quite some time and has kept himself busy with other projects. In his profile summary, I found a link to his YouTube channel. I decided to reach out to him and see if he had any comment regarding the story. And believe it or not, Adam actually responded. It's not every day when you get to talk to the author of such a popular creepypasta. So I didn't hesitate. I asked him the tough questions on the record. I asked him if it was real or just a fabricated story. I also asked if he was the real creator of the hack. This is what he had to say. The story itself is real, and so is the hack that I uploaded to my file bin. I really found it and played it. And then I wrote about it in the threads. My reactions were genuine. Apparently there have been different versions of his creepypasta passed around that involve strange occurrences with his computer. This is what he had to say in regards to that. What isn't real is the shit about the lights flickering and my monitor displaying unsettling images. That never happened, and I don't know where it came from, but I sure didn't write it. He went on to say, nothing was staged. The hack creator and I had no prior interaction, though we did meet sometime afterwards. He's a relatively normal person, nothing really creepy about him. To be honest with you, I never expected the story to get this popular. It was mostly a spur-of-the-moment thing that I decided to do before I finished playing through the hack. So what it sounds like to me is that Adam genuinely played a ROM hack that he had no part of creating. He validates his claims by stating that he does in fact know the creator and he's just your typical guy. This might take away from the overall mystique of the story, now knowing that this ROM hack didn't just magically appear out of nowhere, but it does give Adam a little more credit. I see where he's coming from. This was just a creepy hack he played. There's nothing supernatural about that. He decided to share it with people in the forum thread to make for an entertaining story, not thinking it would turn into this overblown, passed around creepypasta. So there you have it, the true story behind the Mario creepypasta.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Creepy Gaming. Be sure to like and favorite. It really helps me out, guys. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Paddle at XMulletMikeX. I think that's going to do it for me today, guys. I am Mullet Mike with a stick and y'all saying keep it stay creepy. Thanks for watching. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike, welcome all. I am Mullet Mike with the Paddle Gaming Network and Yoush, bringing you Creepy Gaming. For those who don't know, this is the show where we take a look at all kinds of creepy video game aspects over the years. Today, we will be taking a look at none other than Animal Crossing New Leaf. Special. Sorry, it's the wife. She's a little, yappity yep yep yep. Come on, babe, I'm trying to record here. No, don't give me that. Oh, come on, that's uncalled for. Talking like that, you're liable to hurt my feelings. Oh, if you talk about your mother one more time, just one more time, let's go down there and make me a sandwich. I'm trying to work here. Don't quit busting my balls. Come on. Oh, you gonna bring that up again, huh? I'm never gonna hear the end of that. Anyways, special shout out to these fine folks right here. Thank you for your suggestions. So, without further ado, turn the lights down. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Baby, stop, please. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you.
In 2001, Nintendo released the first Animal Crossing. The game was a hit, launching another successful Nintendo franchise, spawning several sequels. The series was known for utilizing the system's internal clock, simulating real-time gameplay. So basically, if you play the game at 3 in the afternoon, it will be 3 o'clock in the game. If you play at midnight, then it'll be midnight in-game, and so on. It was a pretty unique concept. I can honestly say that these games are unlike anything I've ever played. The layout to Animal Crossing titles are usually about the same. You play as a self-named villager who settles in a new town full of neighborly animals. You collect items, earn money, and meet new friends. This game is just so sweet, cute, and cuddly that there can't be anything creepy about this, right? Right? Am I right? Dear God, please let me be right. If these animals bathe in the sacrificial blood of the innocent, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. Earlier in the summer of 2013, Nintendo released another installment to the series, Animal Crossing New Leaf, although the game has been out in Japan since December. Getting an overall great response from both players and critics alike, New Leaf added a lot of new features to the series. One of the game's many features is known as the Dream Suite. As mayor of your own village, you will have the option of working on public works projects. After 7 days, the Dream Suite will be added to the list of recommended projects. Anyways, long story short, using the Dream Suite, you will have access to other towns. The one we will be taking a look at today is Ica Village, also known as the Horror Town. Translated, Ica could mean elegy, lament, love song, or even sad song, which would be pretty fitting for this particular tale. Now, there's a lot to this one, so bear with me here. And I don't always ask this, but please watch till the end to better understand the full story. This dreary dream town has caused a lot of buzz since the game's release for its morbid backstory and suggestive imagery. Once in the village, you'll immediately notice that it doesn't fit the rest of the game's upbeat tone. Ica Village is dry, dull, and for lack of a better word, dead. At first, you'll notice the amount of flowers in the area, but as you progress, you'll notice that the land becomes more barren, possibly a representation of death. Now, each house in this region tells a story. There are other houses, but they belong to the town's residents, and they don't really further the plot. So I will break down each of the 4 main houses and the theories behind them. This is documentation of my first visit to the strange town. So if you don't want it spoiled for you and you want to check it out for yourself, then quit watching. Here is the dream address if you're wanting to visit Ica Village. The first house is found to the north, surrounded by flowers and marked with a red roof. Upon entering, you'll immediately hear the song Hypno KK in the background. It's the song you're hearing right now. On the ground floor, you will notice 3 figures around the dinner table. The one in the middle with the red hat looked to be celebrating a birthday. I noticed a cabinet on the right side of the room. When I opened it up, I was met with the message, "Pretend like nothing was seen." What does this mean? What was so bad in this cabinet that I would want to immediately forget? I noticed there was a back room, but the pathway was blocked. I then decided to go upstairs. There you will see what appears to be some sort of playroom filled with toys, and in particular, this doll in red. There are also 3 paintings in the center of the room. One is of a woman, the next is what looks to be a man, woman, and child, and the third painting appears to be a dog outside of a doghouse. When I left the home, I was met with a girl in red. We'll call her Aika. She was wearing the same red outfit as the middle mannequin in the house. When I spoke to her, a series of Japanese text appeared. When translated, it says, "I love my mommy." This creepy girl in red appears throughout the entire village, but more on her in a minute. As I journeyed to the next home, I ran across a few of the other resident houses along the way. Again, they're not really pivotal to the Aika story, although a few of the creepy red dolls can be found. I noticed on the cliffside to the northwest of the town a burial plot on the beach. This area is inaccessible unless you have a wetsuit. There's another graveyard in the town, but because the grave site on the beach is by itself, maybe it represents something more. But I'll save my theories until after the story. The second home, marked by a green roof, features a maze of chairs. You must sit on the chairs in order to navigate your way to the back of the dark room. Once there, you'll see a doorway. When I entered the quiet room, I noticed that the place was filled with dolls and mannequins, all of which have their back to you. What are they supposed to be looking at? If you rotate the camera, you will see the wall behind you. There you will see paintings of, dare I say, hyper-realistic eyes. I then made my way to the second floor. There I found 2 statues, an apple and a snake, clearly representing the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. The basement of this house appears to be some sort of birthday room. The basement is filled with dolls of all colors sharing some sort of feast. If you look behind the back row of dolls, an axe can be found.
What the fuck?
On my way to the third house, I ran across the graveyard as forementioned. The collapsed dirt around the tombstones indicated that something was buried there. If you attempt to dig, you will find a doghouse, which is strange. Is this in reference to the painting of the dog that I mentioned before? Am I looking too much into this? Probably. Moving on, I also discovered a slope to the beachfront. While down there, I discovered a pair of shoes by the water. Now don't get me wrong, there are scattered items all over this town, but this is the only place that I saw these shoes. Some of you are probably thinking, what's so creepy about a pair of shoes? Well, it is customary in Japanese culture for someone to remove their shoes before they commit suicide. The third house was marked by a dull red roof with a very tattered exterior. Upon entering, I saw a room full of bookshelves. I was welcomed by the girl in red. How did she get here so quick? When I talked to her, she spouted out another Japanese phrase. When translated, she again says, "I love my mommy," but this time the text was distorted. I couldn't enter the main room because she blocked my path, but I noticed behind her was the red doll along with the axe. Upstairs was filled with furniture with the same designs as the painting in the first house. The creepiest part of this room, though, definitely had to be the doll with its back to you watching a static screen TV.
This game is fucked up.
As I went back downstairs, the girl in the red hat had moved out of the way, and I gained access to the ground floor. Navigating through a maze of bookshelves, I discovered the room to the right. Inside was a piano with 8 Easter eggs. What could this possibly represent? I then found my way to the room to the north. Inside was filled with paper along with 2 glass cases and what seemed to be 2 journals. I made my way back to the bookshelf maze. I almost exited the home until I found out that the house had a basement as well. What I found next had to be one of the most disturbing things I'd seen yet.
This game is fucked up.
I almost exited the home until I found out that the house had a basement as well. What I found next had to be one of the most disturbing things I'd seen yet. Downstairs, I found this strange lair. The room, much like the others, is filled with little odds and ends. But what grabbed my attention first was the bed with the outline of someone's body. Beside it was the doll and a baby carriage. When I exited the house, I was again met with Ica, the girl in red. When I spoke with her, all that appeared this time was jumbled text. The fourth and final house was again marked by another red roof. I noticed that it was laid out just like the first house for the most part, except that the place was a mess. Items were scattered all throughout the room. There was no birthday cake on the dinner table, and instead of the 3 mannequins now stood a clothes rack. I decided to go upstairs first. The room was the same as before, except that the paintings had been scratched out. The only figures that weren't were the woman and the man. Another doll in red was found, with an axe nearby. I noticed that the entry to the back room was no longer blocked. There I found the doll with an axe, along with the mannequin of the girl in red. The two were barricaded off from the rest of the village. There was no way of getting to them. They were together at last, cut off from the rest of the world. That concludes my experience at Ica Village. Now, there was so much to this town that I'm sure I missed a few things. This was just documentation of my initial visit. There are many theories as to what happened in this sleepy little village. Clearly, the backstory revolves around the girl in red and her family. The town itself is filled with symbolism. The beginning shows the village trees bearing fruit, flowers blooming, signifying life. The village slowly degenerates to dead trees and disrupted soil, symbolic of death. The way I see it is that Ica's parents either died or were murdered, hence their paintings being scribbled out. The doll with the axe could possibly be behind their deaths. One of them could have been murdered in their sleep. That's why you see the outline of the body on the bed. Maybe one of them was murdered and the other committed suicide, a la the shoes on the beach. The fact that Ica wears red, much like the doll itself, could mean many things. Maybe she acted as the doll. Maybe the doll was jealous of Ica's relationship with her parents and wanted Ica's attention all for herself. Who knows? Either way, it's just a fucking video game. What am I doing here? Doesn't mean it's not interesting though. What are your thoughts and theories? Be sure to leave them in the comments below. Now, like always, I decided to investigate. At first, I was under the impression that this was some kind of creepy Easter egg made by Nintendo. But once I played through New Leaf long enough, I realized that these dream worlds are towns created by other players. With a little research and looking through various forums, I kept hearing about an interview that has been floating around online with the creator of this creepy town. From what I gathered, the creator did an interview with Nintendo Dream, which is basically the Japanese publication of what we used to know as Nintendo Power. The interview has not been translated into English, but from what I understand, the creator was very ambiguous with her answers. The town was meant to be open for interpretation. This way anybody could have a theory and not necessarily be wrong. So that being said, what are your theories regarding this creepy little town? Was Aika a victim or the culprit? Was her parents murdered or did they commit suicide? This town owes a lot to Japanese horror, which makes it that much creepier. It's definitely worth checking out. Visiting the town leaves you scared, exhilarated, yet depressed. It puts you in a weird state of mind, or at least it did for me. Either way, Aika Village will forever go down in creepy gaming history. For a game that just hit North America in the last couple of months, this town has created a lot of buzz. We would have never have guessed that this quaint little dream town would turn into such a nightmare.
So, what did we learn today? Absolutely nothing. The truth of it is that most of these creepy video game Easter eggs are really just kind of there to make the gamers question and talk and create buzz and discussion. They're left ambiguous to make you wonder what it could possibly mean. There is no real right answer. So that being said, what are your theories regarding Aika Village on Animal Crossing New Leaf? I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Hi, I'm Mullet Mike with a battling. Hey, creepy, thanks for watching. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mullet Mike here with Paddle, bringing you Creepy Gaming. This is the show where we take a look at all kinds of creepy video game aspects over the years. Now, normally I like to really just kind of ham it up, play over the top Mullet Mike, and be all loud and obnoxious, and just try to bring some comedy just to add levity to a show that already deals with dark tones. And trust me, I use the term comedy very loosely. But for today's episode, I don't think that'd be too appropriate. I really contemplated covering this episode, but because so many of you have requested it, I just have to give the people what they want. Today, we will be covering Berserk. So, without further ado, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming. Berserk was developed in 1980 by Stern Electronics. The game hit arcades all over the US and was later ported to the Atari 2600, 5200, and the Vectrex. The game itself was designed by Alan McNeil, an employee of Universal Research Lab, sister company to Stern Electronics. McNeil based his game off of a dream that he had in which he fought off robots throughout a dark corridor. McNeil drew his inspiration from classic science fiction author Fred Saberhagen's series of books known as the Berserker series. The game itself was simple, as were most arcade classics of the time. Back then, imagination played a big part of the arcade era. With limited graphics, all you had was a little artwork, and your imagination had to do the rest. Developers had to keep coming up with creative ways to design their games. Enter Berserk's main antagonist, Evil Otto. Don't let the smile fool you. This simple sprite has been the center of video game controversy. Evil Otto was named after McNeil's former co-worker, Dave Otto, who, according to McNeil, would smile while chewing you out. As I said before, the gameplay is relatively simple. You play as a humanoid character who must navigate through a dark maze, blasting robots along the way. Your character cannot come in contact with anything or else you'll explode. Something I thought was pretty creepy is that whenever something explodes, you will see a smiley face in the ashes. Which brings us back to Otto.
This sadistic smiley face would occasionally appear and chase down your character. He can fly through walls, he can up his speed, and probably the worst thing about him is that he can never be killed. If you see Evil Otto appear, you know to run. Otto has made many top video game villains lists. Berserk was one of the first games to feature speech synthesis. Commonplace now for modern video games, Berserk was known as the game that talks to you. There was a list of phrases that the arcade cabinet would spout out to you while playing, breaking the fourth wall for many unsuspecting arcade goers. Now, a reoccurring theme throughout the course of this series has been the question, has anyone ever died from playing a video game? Nearly all the cliche video game creepypastas have involved someone dying due to video games. The arcade game Polybius that I've previously covered was rumored to have caused some deaths itself, but the one thing that I have never found in my years of investigating was hardcore evidence to back up these claims. That is, until now. Apparently, numerous sources have stated that not one, but 2 people have died shortly after playing Berserk. To make things stranger, both players passed away after making high scores. Jeff Daly, age 19, suffered from a fatal heart attack on January 1981 shortly after posting a high score of 16,660 points. The very next year, in October of 1982, Peter Burkowski passed away at age 18 from the same cause. A fatal heart attack only mere seconds after placing in the top 10 of that cabinet. Since their deaths, rumors and conspiracies have run rampant. What made these 2 youths die at such an early age? Personally, I can't help but feel that this is some strange coincidence. Even stranger considering that the ages of 18 and 19 are extremely young to suffer from heart problems. The fact that their deaths happened so soon after playing has made many people question whether or not the game could have contributed to their deaths. A popular theory is that they got so worked up attempting to beat the high score that their hearts just simply couldn't handle it. The truth is, there have been many accidents in arcades over the years, ranging from dehydration, overexhaustion, seizures, and the feelings of being lightheaded. Sadly, these things happen. For whatever reason, Berserk just took it a step further. Between these deaths and the game's breaking of the fourth wall with the speech function, Berserk was, in many ways, the forefather to modern-day video game creepypastas. Because of this, Berserk has forever left a dark mark on creepy gaming history.
Godzilla? What's that doing here? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike, welcome, welcome all. I am Mullet Mike, bringing you yet another episode of Creepy Gaming. For those who don't know, this is the show where we take a look at all kinds of creepy video game aspects over the years. Continuing the season of highly requested episodes, today I will be covering the Doom series. Special sticky shout out to all these folks right here. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your suggestions. Keep them coming. So, without further ado, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming. Oh, it's you again. Thanks. How's the wife and kids? Good. What now?
Dear Mike, I'm sorry that I sent these discs to you, but I can no longer carry their burdens. LSD's not so bad, but whatever you do, do not open cliche.exe. I went to GameStop recently. For whatever reason, there was an old half-blind Asian man behind the counter. got weirder when he insisted that I take the cliche.exe disc free of charge. It was even stranger that he was yelling at the used Xbox games, but I guess he is half blind after all. You said that you finally opened the disc and all you found was other cliche creepypastas, but I assure you that you are wrong. Do not play the game. It will literally open up a portal to your worst hell.
That's funny. It sounded like Bill Clinton. Oh, wait, there's more.
Yes, this is not Bill Clinton.
Well, I want to get to the bottom of this, but until the meantime, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming.
What can I say about Doom that hasn't already been said? It's awesome. It's one of the most blood-gushing, intestine-spilling, mind-blowing, balls-to-the-wall games I'd ever played. Allow me to put this into perspective. At the time, there was nothing like it. As a kid, I remember a friend of mine having Doom for the Super Nintendo. Back then, the only games that I was used to were titles like Mario and Mega Man. Doom made my head explode. This game featured fast-paced action, demonic creatures, and badass weapons that actually gave you a feeling of empowerment and helped even the odds. I don't know about you, but I would never want to be on the end of a Space Marine's gun.
Hey, babe, do you know where the tweezers are at? Oh, shit!
Although it wasn't the first, it was definitely one of the first FPS games, and it really helped launch the genre. Blood was almost non-existent in other games of the time. Remember, this was right after Mortal Kombat hit the scene. People credited both Doom and Mortal Kombat for the Entertainment Software Ratings Board coming into effect. The first Doom title was released in December of 1993. The ESRB was established the following year. The game was developed by id Software and was released on numerous consoles. Doom was the brainchild of Tom Hall, Sandy Peterson, Mike Abrash, and the notorious John Romero. The game itself was groundbreaking, being one of the first to feature blood, 3D graphics, and a little thing called multiplayer. Again, these things have been in games before, but Doom executed these features flawlessly. The series spawned several sequels and spin-offs, including Doom 2, Final Doom, Doom 64, as well as Doom 3. But today, I will be covering what is known as the Doom trilogy. The first Doom, as well as the rest of the series, deals with obvious creepy undertones. You play as a space marine who must fight wave after wave of the demon horde. The hellish setting and army of demons definitely added a scare factor to the game. Again, especially since there wasn't really anything else like it at the time. That by itself can be pretty intimidating. But the series has other creepy aspects definitely worth mentioning. In older versions of the original Doom, a swastika could be found in the level E1M4 command control. More than likely just a reference to Wolfenstein 3D, this swastika was eventually removed for obvious reasons. Doom 2 Hell on Earth was originally released in the fall of 1994. The games take place immediately following the events of the first. The sequel wasn't too drastically different from its predecessor. Doom 2 featured the same gameplay and graphics that made the first so popular, just gave players the continuation of the story that they'd been waiting for. More creepiness followed in the form of Easter eggs. Like always, I'm going to travel into spoiler territory, so spoiler alert. So if you don't want to know the ending of Doom 2, then stop the video right now. Go ahead, we can wait. The final boss was known as the Icon of Sin, the same name as the map it inhabits. What a badass name, the Icon of Sin. This large biomechanical head resembles a goat skull complete with horns. Before entering the Icon of Sin's lair, you will see a doorway of twisted, distorted faces. As soon as you enter, the Icon of Sin gives an unsettling speech. This is what's said. Sounds creepy, but it's very hard to understand. That's because the track is backmasked. Let's listen to that very same clip in reverse.
Win the game, you must kill me, John Romero.
John Romero, as forementioned, was one of the designers of the series, and yes, he's actually in the game. If you use the no-clip cheat, you can walk right through the demon's face. You will then find a secret room featuring the decapitated head of John Romero on a stake. What's really creepy, though, is that the head is still alive. If you shoot at John Romero, an animation shows his head moving back as he gets hit. Developer Easter eggs are actually pretty common in video games, but this one took it to a new level of creativity and creepiness. Was it creepy? You bet your ass it was. Doom 3 was originally released in August of 2004 for the PC and was later ported to various consoles. There have been many versions and expansions of Doom 3. For example, I own the BFG edition for the PS3, which I recommend. It features the Resurrection of Evil expansion as well as the numbered trilogy. So basically you get Doom 1, 2, and 3. You can also get the game pretty cheap on Steam if you're a PC gamer. Doom 3 was a big deal when it was announced. As I stated, there had been other sequels and spin-offs since Doom 2, but Doom 3 had some major buzz around it. With an improved gaming engine, players were excited to once again return to the world of Doom and slaughter the Horde. Sorry, just getting a little too into it. I was one of those guys. I was ready to go back to Doom 3. I was ready to slaughter some demonic ass. Wait a minute, that didn't sound right. Oh, anyways, I digress. The game plays for jump scares, and I've got to admit, there were a couple of parts that even startled me. Some are false scares to keep you on your toes. Others are genuine. Doom 3 is littered with scary Easter eggs. The Easter eggs in this game are so intense. I swear, this game just hurls Easter eggs at you while you're playing. Oh, hey, what the fuck? I said Easter eggs! The first one worth talking about is during the opening text sequence. For a split second, you will see this demonic face in the background. The face is only there for a few frames, but it can leave a lasting impression. This is just a little taste of what this game has to offer. Just like its predecessors, you again play as a Space Marine. You are stationed to the UAC's Mars base. When arriving to Mars City, you'll hear rumblings of unexplained phenomenon occurring. The first that the UAC staff could very well be referencing is the strange voices being heard. In the first bathroom, in the furthest stall, you will hear what sounds like faint whispering. Where are these voices coming from, and what are they saying? On your first mission out, you will learn that the UAC has been experimenting with teleportation. During a test, something goes terribly wrong, causing an unnatural shockwave to consume the Mars base. I guess you could say all hell breaks loose. But what? What more eggs? Are you serious? The teleporter opens up a portal to hell, releasing all kinds of demonic forces. After this outbreak, more creepy Easter eggs can be found. Certain touchpads will begin to flicker, showing the shape of a pentagram as well as a hidden message. One final Easter egg I'd like to cover again takes place in a restroom. What is it with the restrooms in this game? I remember stumbling upon this Easter egg and it legitimately scaring me, mainly because it was so intense and unexpected. If you stare into this mirror, it will stare back into your soul.
The Doom series will always hold a special place in my heart. I mean, Doom 1 and 2 are my childhood, as fucked up as that may sound, and Doom 3 improved on an already near-perfect formula. The series broke new ground and helped launch not one, but two major genres for both first-person shooters and survival horror. Because of this, and the many creepy Easter eggs, the Doom trilogy will forever go down in creepy gaming history. I would like to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and favorite for more creepy gaming. If you have a suggestion for creepy gaming, be sure to leave it in the comments below. I am Mullet Mike with a smile and yow saying... Alright. Oh, wait for it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike. Welcome all. I am Mullet Mike, bringing you Creepy Gaming. If you're just joining us, this is the show where we take a look at all kinds of scary video game aspects over the years. Oh, got something special for you today. Today, we will be covering none other than Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Special shout out to all these fine folks right here, these guys right here, all of these people right here. Thank you so much for your suggestions. Keep them coming and keep them. So let's not drag this out anymore. Without further ado, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming.
Grand Theft Auto. These three words resonate loudly throughout gaming culture. Speaking personally, the Grand Theft Auto series has to be my favorite video game series of all time, and that's saying something. What is it that makes the GTA games so great? Well, there are many answers to that question. There's not just one reason GTA kicks ass, but it's many features that contributes to the series' overall greatness. For starters, the GTA games break down the boundaries of typical video game genres. It's not just a racing game, it's not just a shooter. The world of Grand Theft Auto falls under the all of the above category. GTA is a third-person shooter, a street racing title, a golf game, bowling game, flying game, boat game, swimming game, blah blah blah. I think you get my point. The immersive open world of Grand Theft Auto gives you a certain amount of freedom that few other video games offer. That same freedom has also been the center of the game's controversy. Grand Theft Auto has been under a huge amount of scrutiny due to the fact that anything goes. The games have been said to encourage negative behavior, but I say, if anything, that Grand Theft Auto gives players a safe and controlled environment to do what they want. It's better for it to take place in a video game world rather than the real world, am I right? Anyways, don't get me started on that debate. We're here to talk about the creepiness that comes along with Grand Theft Auto. The huge open worlds presented throughout the series leaves a lot of room for creepy Easter eggs. Now, because of the many sequels and overwhelming amount of content, I've decided to cover 3 GTA titles. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 4, and Grand Theft Auto 5. Mainly because these three have the creepiest Easter eggs, most interesting theories, and scariest locations.
Us is payers. Run up in your spot like CJ from San Andreas.
Grand Theft Auto has been around for quite some time. The first game was released in 1997 and has always had room for creepy Easter eggs, much like the bloody hotel room in the unused Vice City mission. In 2004, Rockstar Games released Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The game was promoted as having the largest map of the time, using 3 cities rather than the usual 1. Based off of the Southern California-Nevada region, Rockstar based San Andreas' 3 main towns off of real-life cities. Los Santos being like Los Angeles, San Fierro like San Francisco, and Las Venturas representing Las Vegas. Surrounding Los Santos and San Fierro were rural areas complete with forests and small towns, and deserts surrounded the northeastern area around Las Venturas. Rockstar took advantage of San Andreas' large wooded areas and vast deserts to plant all kinds of Easter eggs to reward players who took the time to seek them out. Now, because there are so many Easter eggs, theories, and myths, I figured I'll need some help on this one. So joining me today, you know him, I know him, we all know him, my buddy Mutahar from Some Ordinary Gamers, host of Haunted Gaming. Join me in welcoming back Mutahar.
Thank you, Mike. Around the Las Venturas desert lies Area 69, Rockstar's take on the infamous Area 51. If this doesn't sound like the perfect place for an alien life form, then I don't know what does. See, players have reported all kinds of extraterrestrial activity in the state of San Andreas, ranging from gray aliens to UFOs. Throughout the game, you may notice strange lights in the sky at nighttime. Some say the lights are supposed to be planes, others say that they are clearly UFOs. There are also many in-game references, including the mission Black Project. The woman on the PA system can be heard saying, "All personnel working on alien bodies, evacuate immediately." Other NPCs throughout San Andreas could also be heard talking about their own personal alien experiences. Some gamers feel that other San Andreas myths tie in with that of aliens. Many feel that the notorious Mr. Trenchcoat as well as the reported Men in Black agents add to the intricate myth. One location worth mentioning is the Little Probe Inn. There you will discover this large map on the back wall. The same map can be found at Mike Torino's ranch. On the map itself, you will notice these mysterious round markers. Many players speculate that these are actual locations where you could see UFOs. This is unconfirmed, although most players will agree that these 7 marks are definitely places of interest.
Since the game's release in 2004, players have reported seeing a large creature in the southwest region of the game's map. Rumors began going around claiming that a Bigfoot or Sasquatch could be found wandering around the woods outside of Los Santos. Reports claim that this was indeed a rare event and would take a great deal of searching in order to find him. Some gamers have said that the Sasquatch will attack you late at night out of nowhere, adding tension to players stranded out in the woods. Over time, videos and pictures began springing up all over the internet. But because of the inconsistencies as well as available PC mods, it's become near impossible to validate these claims. In another Rockstar game, Red Dead Redemption, rumors sprang up again, stating that Bigfoot could be found. Well, Bigfoot was included in a mission in the Undead Nightmare DLC. Once completing the mission, you will receive a trophy or achievement entitled 6 Years in the Making. As I stated before, San Andreas came out in 2004. When did Red Dead Redemption come out? That's right, 2010, exactly 6 years later. Nice touch.
Now, there are a lot of contradicting reports of this, but the similarities state that a strange white male can be found in the smaller rural towns walking the streets. His in-game dialogue can be pretty disturbing. If you walk near him, he will say things such as, "The aliens are coming," "Can't let him take me again," You can't steal my mind, you green-blooded abominations. And it's the voices. Players have reported that this pedestrian actually attacking them, and in a few cases killing them, or another NPC. The appearance of this man has differed from story to story, but most gamers describe the man as an older white male, wearing a black coat along with a black cowboy hat. Because of this, he has been coined the name of Mr. Trenchcoat. It has been said that if you wish to see Mr. Trenchcoat, then head to the Fort Carson area. As mentioned earlier, some believe that he has connections with aliens or even Men in Black. The NPC itself is actually in the game, but whether or not he kills is still up for debate.
If you are in the Flint County area and you see a photographer taking pictures, do yourself a favor and take a few moments to observe. You will notice the photographer snap a few photos before throwing themselves off of a nearby cliff. You will usually find this suicidal photographer near a body of water. They will take a few pictures and then cast themselves off of a cliff, subsequently drowning in the water below. It is not known if this was intentionally programmed into the game or if this was just some strange glitch. Either way, this is one of the few San Andreas urban legends that can actually be confirmed.
If you explore the desert in Bone County, you might stumble upon a mass grave. You'll see a shovel, bobcat truck, and a pit filled with 6 body bags. It can be a creepy feeling, just walking around minding your own business and then all of a sudden, finding this. Who or what was in the body bags and who put them there? It's actually believed that the DJ from the in-game radio station, K. Rose, could have been behind this. Her name is Mary Beth Mabel, and claims that she had 6 husbands, all of which were 6 feet under.
In some wooded areas of San Andreas, an old beat-up Glendale can be found. At times it has been said that the car actually comes to life. This is one of the few San Andreas myths that I can say I've actually seen for myself. The old Glendales spawn in the woods and are supposed to represent old abandoned cars, but for whatever reason some of them will actually start up and drive on their own. It is unknown whether or not this was intentional or just another glitch, but because the car is a Glendale, I'd personally say that this was intentional. Horror writer Stephen King once wrote a book entitled Christine, in which an old Plymouth Fury gets possessed by supernatural forces. If you look closely at the Glendale, you will notice that it resembles a 1958 model Plymouth Fury. Because of this, I feel like this was an intentional Easter egg from Rockstar. Somebody must have been a fan. GTA San Andreas was, and in many ways still is, full of mystery. In an age prior to YouTube and other social media sites, these strange happenings got passed around as if they were real-life urban legends. It added a certain mystique about the game. It made you go hunt these Easter eggs down to see if you could experience them for yourself.
So there you have it. San Andreas broke new ground and set up a formula that Rockstar would continue to follow and improve on. Because of the many theories, creepy Easter eggs, scary locations, myths, and urban legends, GTA San Andreas has done more than enough to earn a spot in creepy gaming history. I would like to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I would also like to thank Mutahar from Some Ordinary Gamers. Be sure to subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. Like and favorite for more creepy gaming. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at the paddle at @MulletMikeX. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I am Mullet Mike with a paddle and y'all saying keep it sticky, stay creepy. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike, welcome, welcome all. I am Mullet Mike, bringing you a creepy gaming extra. Now, if you have been following the series on the battle, then you would know that here recently we have been covering the Grand Theft Auto games. In the first episode of the series, myself and Mutahar from Some Ordinary Gamers went over some creepy aspects in GTA San Andreas. Because there were so many different myths and legends, there was no way we were going to be able to cover them all. I mean, there's the Hell House, the old Ghost Town, the Ring Girl, Loch Ness Monster, Pigsy, which is from another Rockstar classic. I mean, the list goes on and on. I cannot stress enough that most San Andreas urban legends are built around speculation and have little to no proof of their existence. But because so many viewers commented on the video asking about their favorites, so I figured why not cover some good old-fashioned San Andreas leftovers. One aspect that I didn't cover in the episode was the ghosts of San Andreas. It has been said that the ghost of CJ's dead mother can be found in the game. According to legend, if you go to the Johnson house on Grove Street late at night, you may hear or even see the ghost of Mrs. Johnson. Some of you may have heard about ghost graffiti. Unlike other ghosts in the game, this street art has in fact been confirmed. If you head to the Vinewood Cemetery late at night, you will see the words "Families for Life" spray painted on the back wall of the mausoleum. What's so strange is that this graffiti disappears before the sun rises. No one knows why it's in the game or what its purpose is. It's possibly a reference to CJ's mother who is buried there, or even fallen Grove Street members. Hell, it could be some accidental glitch. Who knows? Rockstar does, but they're not telling. Either way, the fact that it appears at the Vinewood Cemetery just makes it that much creepier. Now, originally, the San Andreas episode had more to it, but unfortunately some segments had to be cut due to time or other restrictions. One urban legend that viewers asked about that we actually filmed a segment on was that of Leatherface. So without further ado, here is that deleted scene featuring Mutahar from Some Ordinary Gamers.
Thank you, Mike. Based on the chainsaw-wielding maniac from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this video game urban legend captured the imagination of unsuspecting players. It is said that Leatherface can be found at one of three locations: the Panopticon, Shady Cabin, and Fisher's Lagoon. The Panopticon is an old abandoned mill in the middle of the woods near the town of Blueberry. Reports state that players could hear what sounded like a chainsaw in the distance. These claims became more validified considering that a chainsaw will spawn on top of the hill, not to mention the bloodstains can also be found in one of the rooms in the abandoned mill. Shady Cabin can be found in Whetstone. This creepy looking cabin has been said to be the home of Leatherface, as well as other Rockstar urban legends such as Pigsy or Jason. Much like the Panopticon, players have claimed to hear chainsaw sounds in the area. Fisher's Lagoon finally is an interesting location, just by itself. Being home to many San Andreas urban legends, it is said to be the home of Leatherface as well, mainly because of the empty wheelchair found at the end of the pier. A wheelchair was featured in the first two Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, causing many gamers to believe this is where Leatherface will take his victims. Much like other myths and legends of San Andreas, it is unconfirmed whether or not Leatherface is actually in the game. Either way, these locations are sure to cause a few scares. If you're in the area and you hear a chainsaw in the distance, then you know to run.
Now, one other urban legend that the subs and creepy community commented on was the exclusion of the Epsilon cult. For those who do not know, the Epsilon cult, or Epsilon program as it's known, is an in-game group of individuals that was featured in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. This creepy cult definitely earned a spot in the episode, but the Epsilon program plays a more predominant role in GTA 5. So I figured I'd save it for the upcoming Creepy Gaming season finale. Well, I think that's going to do it for me today, folks. I hope you enjoyed these creepy random leftovers from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. If you would like to see me cover other urban legends from the Grand Theft Auto series, then comment down below. Or if you have another suggestion for a Creepy Gaming or Creepy Gaming Extra, then let me know. Be sure to like and favorite for more, and check out thepaddle.com for all your needs. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I am Mullet Mike with a paddle saying, keep it gravy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, freaks and geeks, trolls and derps alike, welcome all. I am Mullet Mike, bringing you Creepy Gaming. Finally, the Creepy Gaming Season 3 finale is here, folks. Before we get started, let's take a look back at some of the greatest moments from Creepy Gaming Season 3. The Shadow Man comes to life and kills somebody. Good times. So wait, that's the only great moment we've had all season long. Anyways, we're gonna pick up this episode right where we left off with Grand Theft Auto 5. So without further ado, turn the lights down and the volume up as we journey into some creepy gaming.
In September of 2013, Rockstar Games released Grand Theft Auto 5. Players were happy not just to return to the world of Grand Theft Auto, but return to the city of Los Santos as well. GTA 5 made history by making, get this, $800 million in just the first 24 hours of its release. That is insane. Rockstar Games shows us that when you take a little extra time to better your product, rather than just rush it out, it can be just as successful, or in this case, more successful. The developers pushed the limits of the PS3 and Xbox 360 hardware and delivered the most stunning visuals the series has seen yet. The game was promoted as being the most visually realistic entry to date, and for a game this size, that's awesome. GTA 5 can be praised for its graphics and its gameplay all day long, but one aspect that I feel I personally haven't given enough praise yet is the storytelling. The same can be said about all the GTA games. They've all had strong stories and characters. GTA 5 shined with its main characters of Michael, Franklin, and of course everybody's favorite sociopath, Trevor. Grand Theft Auto 5 also broke new ground with its addition of GTA Online. So I'm really excited to see where the series goes from here. Just like its predecessors, GTA 5 is full of creepiness ranging from Easter eggs to scary locations. Probably more than any other GTA game. No longer do we have to speculate on the myths or legends, but now we have definitive, hardcore, documented evidence. In the first couple of days alone, numerous paranormal Easter eggs were discovered. This is my list of the creepiest. Now, since I've had guest hosts all season long, it would only be right to finish out this GTA-a-thon with today's guest host. Allow me to introduce to you a Yoush brother of mine. Give it up for OG X-Rays. Say what's up to everybody.
Hey, thanks, Mike. What's up, everybody? And a big Yoush, damn it.
All right, this is going to be fun. Let's kick it off with everybody's favorite bipedal humanoid, Bigfoot. Yes, of course, one of the most famous urban legends of the Grand Theft Auto series returns in GTA 5. Rather than shrouding Bigfoot in mystery, GTA 5 embraces this urban legend. If you look at the official city logo of Los Santos, you will see a Sasquatch-like creature in the bottom right. The Mission Predator uses one of GTA 5's new features of switching between main characters. During the mission, you must switch and use the sniper rifle to pick off the O'Neill brothers. If you look around the woods, you will see the heat signatures of the men, deer, or if you look hard enough, Bigfoot. The heat signature shows off the silhouette of the Sasquatch standing there before quickly disappearing. Bigfoot can again be seen in the mission, The Last One, which is in reference to Rockstar's take on Bigfoot. Franklin runs across what appears to be a Sasquatch, but this Bigfoot ultimately ends up being just a man in a mask. Straight Scooby-Doo style.
Just like the Bigfoot myth, there is no speculation this time. Aliens and UFOs have been confirmed. The opening mission in the game is set nearly 10 years ago in the town of Ludendorff, North Yankton. Right off the bat, you can get your first look at an alien lifeform in Grand Theft Auto 5. This opening mission itself is time-based. You'll be able to see the alien, but you won't have much time to look. If you play the mission Bury the Hatchet, in which you return to Ludendorff, you'll be able to get a better look at this extraterrestrial. Next to the North Yankton Highway sets a frozen river. If you pull over here by the river and make your way down to the bank, you'll be able to see an alien frozen in the river. These aliens have much more of a threatening appearance than your typical gray alien, and trust me, this won't be the only time you'll see these guys. These same aliens can be seen in the side mission Grassroots. In addition to these appearances, there are several UFOs scattered throughout the game. Literally, there are UFO parts scattered throughout San Andreas that you'll need to retrieve. As far as official working UFOs go, the one that most people seem to know about is the UFO above Mount Chiliad, because it is part of the greater Easter egg. On top of San Andreas' tallest peak stands a strange hieroglyph. Located on the wall of these tramway stations on top of the mountain, there is a strange etching. There are numerous theories regarding these cryptic markings, but most players will agree that the three images at the bottom are the most intriguing. Here you will see what appears to be a UFO, a large egg, possibly Easter egg, and what seems to be a jetpack. I should mention that as of the release of this video, the mystery of Mount Chiliad remains unsolved. Unlike the jetpack, the UFO has since been discovered. A clue can be found written in the observation deck atop Mount Chiliad. It says, "Come back when the story is complete." Sure enough, if you return to the observation deck with 100% story mode complete during a storm at 3 AM, you will see a UFO up close. Let me remind you, this is not distant light in the sky. There's no mistaking this UFO. As of this video, 4 UFOs have been discovered in total. Another can be found in the ocean of the northern coast of Paleto Bay. This crashed vehicle appears to have been here for a while. As of right now, it doesn't seem to have any function, just a scenic Easter egg, perhaps to eventually further the story. Another UFO can be found above the Gran Sonora Desert. Located outside of Sandy Shores sits a strange structure meant to capture an extraterrestrial's attention. Ironically, it must have worked because this UFO is located directly above the Beam Me Up artwork. Now, the fourth and final UFO can be found over Fort Zancudo. This aircraft appears different than the others. This UFO has more of a military look to it compared to the rest. For those of you who don't know, the FIB is Rockstar's take on the FBI, giving players the idea that in-game government is behind these strange UFOs. That alone sparks numerous theories and corresponding debates regarding who's behind these aircrafts. Either way, Rockstar took full advantage of the alien myth and ran with it. Between frozen aliens, spaceship parts, numerous UFOs, and the great mystery of Mount Chiliad, Grand Theft Auto 5's aliens have definitely made their mark and proven their existence.
Throughout Los Santos and surrounding Blaine County are several references to the Infinity Killer. This in-game serial killer was revealed to be a man by the name of Merle Abrahams. As of right now, there is no known photo, or NPC for that matter, of Abrahams at all. The Infinity murders occurred in-game sometime in 1999, in which Merle Abrahams killed 8 victims. Because of his infatuation with the Infinity symbol and the number 8, he was coined the name the Infinity Killer. Abraham's former residence can be found in Sandy Shores. There you will find a dilapidated, half-burned house. Inside, the words, "There will be 8" can be found scribbled on the wall. Many clues to his murders can be found throughout San Andreas, but is probably most famously known for the nursery rhyme. Located nearby Sandy Shores stands a rock formation with strange graffiti, the most noticeable being the infamous nursery rhyme. Rather than me reciting it for you, I'll have my 5-year-old niece do it for you, just to add to the nightmare fuel.
1 is done, 2 was fun, 3 tried the run, 4 told Mom, 5 not alive, 6 is nixed, 7's in heaven, 8 won't wait.
Great job, sweetie. You're welcome, folks. Sleep well.
Originating in GTA San Andreas, this cult has made its presence known throughout Los Santos. Their Epsilon program was originally a teaser site for the series. In GTA San Andreas, the program was viewed more as a mysterious cult, but over the years, its perception has changed. The Epsilon program makes their presence known in GTA 5, and is now more like a parody of Scientology. You can hear the program mentioned throughout many media outlets in the game, such as NPCs, conversations, internet websites, or Weasel News. Even though this creepy cult has gradually evolved into more of a scam parody, you never know what might be next for the Epsilon program.
Arguably, one of the creepiest Easter eggs that GTA has to offer has to be the ghost of Mount Gordo. If you go to the side of Mount Gordo overlooking the lighthouse at this time, you will see an actual ghost. This is not a glitch, nor is it a mod. This was programmed into the final version of the game. This apparition appears to be a dark-haired female in a white dress. If you approach the apparition, she'll disappear, but you can get a good look at her through a sniper scope. The ghost doesn't move, although she does float, but there's no real interaction between you and her. Now raises the questions, who is she, and why is she here? That's right, everybody else in this game has a backstory. Hell, even the non-existent Merle Abrahams had a backstory. Why not her? Oh, she does? Once you get close enough to her for her to disappear, then you're probably close enough to notice the blood on the cliff near her. The blood stain only stays there as long as she does. Once the clock resets, both the ghost and the blood stain cannot be seen again until the following night. The blood spells out the name Jock. This is the first clue as to who this apparition is, or was. The name Jock is in reference to the character of Jock Cranley. He was once a stunt double and now currently a politician running for governor of San Andreas. According to an in-game newspaper article, Jock and his wife, Jolene Cranley Evans, were hiking on Mount Gordo when Jolene mysteriously fell to her death. Jock was taken in and investigated before eventually being let go due to lack of evidence. Therefore, Jolene's spirit continues to haunt the cliffside, continuously trying to expose her killer. I would usually end it right here, but it should be noted that the ghost of Mount Gordo was actually based on a real-life urban legend. According to this Midwestern myth, a similar story was told. A woman was killed while her and her boyfriend were hiking. Get this, the mountain they were hiking on was Mount Gordon, located in Pennsylvania. This, more than likely, was the inspiration for this creepy GTA 5 Easter egg. If you wish to find out more about the GTA 5 backstory, then the Sonora Beach newspaper article can be found on the Who Killed Lenora Johnson website. The developers obviously heard about all the ghost rumors from their previous games and decided to deliver an Easter egg worthy of creepy gaming.
So what can I say about Grand Theft Auto 5 that hasn't already been said? The game's awesome. I mean, really, it's got everything you could possibly want in a video game. And as far as creepy gaming goes, I don't know, it's got mythological creatures, obsessed cults, extraterrestrial life forms, ghostly apparitions, serial killers. Did I mention that one yet? You name it. GTA 5's got it. I think that's going to do it for us today, folks. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you all for help supporting Season 3 of Creepy Gaming. This has been the most successful season we've had yet, and I cannot thank you guys enough. I would like to thank my Yaus brethren, OG X-Rays, for all his contributions on this episode. I would also like to thank Dynasty, the king of GTA 5 Easter eggs, for all of his help as well. Be sure to check out their channels if you haven't already. The links will be in the description below. Be sure to like and favorite for more Creepy Gaming. If you have a suggestion for Creepy Gaming Season 4, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I think that's going to do it for me today, folks. I hope you enjoyed. I am Mullet Mike with a style and y'all saying keep it, stay creepy. Thanks for watching. Peace.